Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
All right. And with that, we're right back into the mix. Right back at it here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. But this time around, it's Tuesday. And we sure hope everyone is doing just fine, just wonderful. You know, I'm not the greatest with arithmetic, Josh. I'm not. Been struggling with that since I was a kid.
It ain't easy.
No. So I can't be specific, but I can tell you that sometime just after 7 a.m. this morning, we will officially be halfway through our work week. Sometime after 7 a.m. If you didn't hear already.
Math.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm trying to do the math, too, to see if I can pick that up.
Help me out if you can. Yeah, if you can be more specific, that will be great.
It's tough to make it exact since we started at 5:40. It would be easier if we just started at 6. That would make the hour breakdown a little bit easier.
If you're a little confused.
Take away 10 minutes.
20.
No, because we're cutting in half.
Oh, okay.
You guys want to take a commercial break?
Please, we're trying to do the arithmetic.
No, I understand it's difficult. If you didn't hear yesterday.
And if we take a commercial break, that's going to screw up this whole thing. Come on, man. Don't make it more complicated.
The timing would be even. If you didn't hear yesterday, we're not coming anywhere near this building on Thursday or Friday. We're just not going to do it. So we're already nearing the halfway mark for our work week. F everybody else. That was as close as close as I could come. It's just sometime after 7 a.m. So do you want to fall in line with everybody else and go ahead with this one gorilla versus 100 men conversation?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, this is ridiculous.
I was made aware of this yesterday at some point. I was watching Timberwolves coverage, of course. What day is it today? Tuesday. When did the Wolves play? Saturday?
Yes. Or no.
Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday. I'm watching some Timberwolves coverage, and I think it was Michael Grady, who usually is the lead play-by-play man for the Timberwolves with Jim Peterson doing color commentary. But Sunday, I think it was just strictly an ESPN type of a thing, so I didn't get my fix of those two gentlemen. But I found a show sometime after the Wolves game that had Michael Grady making comments about the ball game, and he made some reference to gorillas fighting regular men, and I was totally thrown by the comment. I even asked my wife, I said, what the hell is he referring to there? But it was this big internet thing, okay? This is the conversation being had all over town. The premise is simple. One gorilla versus 100 men, a fight to the death. Who survives?
And there were some sports blogs that got all their writers together to see if they could come up to consensus. Bro Bible, they did that, had a bunch of guys get together and provide their answers and some justifications one way or the other.
No way.
All right, so again, if you're new to this, one gorilla versus 100 men, a fight to the death. Who survives? Either the gorilla or some amount of the men.
Because there will be casualties.
Certainly.
Well, it could be zero. Your answer could be 0 men survive. Your answer could be the gorilla is the only survivor. That's the question that has swept the internet in recent days. So the gorilla walks out alone. The human men have no weapons.
No weapons.
Well, then they have no chance. That's my answer.
I don't know. I think 100 guys could take a gorilla.
I don't think so, mostly because after they watch the first 10 get absolutely ripped apart, the other 90 men are not going to go for it.
Well, I don't think you take turns.
It's a team effort,
Yeah,
actually.
I think everybody jumps in all at once.
Okay, the first guy that gets brutally attacked, they're going to be like, I don't know.
It's
Let's
not like,
back off.
Like an 80s movie where, for whatever reason, it's one at a time.
Right.
And nobody seems to notice that this guy's just killed the first 30 people.
I don't know. I'm still going with the gorilla kills every damn last one of the human men,
Yeah,
and
me
quite
too.
easily and quite quickly.
Especially if we're talking about just like the average man, not like a bunch of dudes that work out regularly. You know, they're like some Navy SEALs. One full-grown adult male gorilla. Yeah, they have no chance.
Without weapons, I don't think we have a chance, Josh.
100 guys on one gorilla.
Yeah. I still don't think that we have a chance.
Boy, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be the first guy up there because there's going to be a lot of deaths. Like a significant amount of deaths.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in there with any loved ones because there's very good odds you're going to lose a loved one. But I think 100 guys would. That gorilla's going to be exhausted. Absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, they're not used to killing 100 folks in one day.
No, but
I'd definitely be that guy, Josh, that'd be like, all right, it's go time. Oh, shoot, my shoe's untied. You guys go ahead. I'll be right there. Yep, all right, I'm coming.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about the gorilla and what it's capable of. It can lift up to 1,800 pounds. That's 3 full vending machines stacked on top of each other. It can lift that up.
When you put it in that context.
Well, what that'd be 1,800 pounds? Would it be like 12? Let's say I don't know what the average weight of a guy is. Let's say 150, so not huge. That's 12 dudes right there.
There goes 12 dudes.
You got 88 other guys there.
Yeah, but you throw those 12 dudes into 30 other dudes.
I think that'd be tough to do for one gorilla.
That wounds a few of those dudes. What else can the gorilla do?
By the way, I'm picking with my brain, not my heart, because I'm cheering for the gorilla.
Yeah.
I just don't think the gorilla is going to beat 100 dudes.
The gorilla can bench press 4,400 pounds.
That's insane.
It packs a bite force stronger than a grizzly bear or a polar bear. And it's been observed, gorillas have been observed before, effortlessly, did I say that correctly? I think I did. Gorillas have been observed effortlessly snapping thick tree branches that would require a chainsaw for any human to break. It's quite intimidating. I just think once this gorilla gets really pissed off and just kind of starts windmilling himself in a circle, we just drop like flies.
Well, like I said, there'll be a lot of deaths, but I think overall 100 guys are going to tire out and they're going to beat this gorilla.
Lazy magician Jesus said, how many guys could realistically jump a gorilla at one time, though? Maybe 6, maybe 8. There's not a lot of room.
Yeah, but it keeps coming. It's a big assault.
I don't know. Do they get tired like that? I wouldn't imagine that they get so easily exhausted.
A few people have said that, yes, the gorilla would become exhausted and just wouldn't be able to fight back. And apparently there's been some AI. People have gone as far as to run simulations through AI.
Yeah, that's usually extremely trustworthy.
And the men have, well, of course, this whole thing's pretty silly, actually. Overwhelmingly, the men are winning. But, there's only a handful of guys left.
There's only a handful left. Yeah, well, I mean,
hopefully we never have to find out.
everyone's got an idea. Everyone's got an idea.
You'd have a hell of a story to bring back to the bar if you were one of the guys that survived of the 100 and killed a gorilla.
Not only is the gorilla way stronger, says emotional boner Jesus, but the gorilla is going to be really pissed off, which is going to add fuel to the fire. Josh's mother could take on 100 guys is another text message that was sent in. One listener is picturing a scene in The Matrix where the Smiths pile on Neo. Do you understand the reference? Anybody?
Yep.
No.
Personally, in Matrix, never saw it. Maybe 100 years ago, I'd have more faith in what we could accomplish. But I just think these days, the average dude is SAWFT soft, and I include myself in that group.
Well, I also think that the idea of getting 100 guys to get along and come up with a singular plan would be a little tough.
Political debate would break out right beforehand.
Probably. What if people would be? They'd be killed as they're arguing about how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Here's a good question, Josh. What if there were 2 gorillas? Do you still think that the human men had a chance?
No, I think 2 gorillas, that'd be too tough.
They'd be playing catch with your head.
I would think most guys are going to be dead.
Yeah.
There'll be a few survivors.
Some other listeners are wondering, can we have Chuck Norris on our side? Can Chuck Norris be one of the 100 men, or they're naming other, characters?
They'll probably
movie
be
characters. John Rambo.
A couple of those types of guys in there out of 100 people. It's likely.
Well, there you go. That's what folks have been arguing back and forth about. That's pretty funny.
I mean,
I'm also rooting for the gorilla, Josh.
Didn't Tarzan kill a gorilla? I mean, that's just one half-naked guy.
Never saw it. Is that what he did?
I don't remember.
Did he kill a gorilla?
Did he? But he might have had a knife.
I only saw the Disney animated version.
I always got a kick out of Josh when you would tell your stories of visiting the gorillas at the zoo and the deep, deep depression they all seem to be suffering from.
That's the thing. I love watching them. They're incredible animals. And then when you see them up close, how powerful and big they are. But yeah, they always look pretty bummed out.
Yeah, they're just bored out of their minds at the friggin' zoo.
And they have no interest in the people. They're just sitting there pretty depressed, it looks.
I like the videos of maybe like a toddler is in front of the glass there at the gorilla exhibit, and they're doing something that toddlers do, and the gorillas actually respond to them. Those are my favorite. It's so cute, but also it makes you realize that they're really smart, and that's kind of terrifying.
Offended millennial isn't a word. Offended millennial Jesus has texted into the program on this 100 men versus 1 gorilla argument that has taken social media over. He says, man, someone's going to get a finger in the butt amongst all that fighting.
Yeah, for sure. There's going to be some friendly fire, I would think. Whoops. Sorry, I was going for its throat. You were up on top of that thing. Nothing I could do.
Well, there you go.
There's so many factors, though. I mean, is everybody going to attack? Or there's going to be people that just sit in the back going, F that, that's a gorilla. I'm not taking my chances.
Yeah, I don't know. You go after the eyes.
Yep. I think
smart.
Eyes, neck, genitals. You got to go for the genitals.
Oh, man. You think you would be the guy that just gives that gorilla's genitals the anaconda squeeze?
Now, I do think that should be against the rules, but I'm fighting a gorilla. I'd be terrified. Yeah, I think no holds barred there.
You're not worried about bro code?
No, not at all.
In that situation?
Not at all. I'd feel terrible about it.
I just, I don't know if we're tough enough anymore. We used to be. I don't think we're tough enough anymore. I see videos on the internet where entire families are afraid to leave their house because a goose is on their front step. You know what I mean?
That's a really good point.
Gooses do fight dirty. Geese do fight dirty.
Geese, goose, whatever. Yeah. All right, what are you going to do?
I did see one funny joke making the rounds about this whole 100 men versus 1 gorilla debate. Somebody said, I don't know if 100 men could take down a gorilla, but I know 1 LeBron could take down 10 gorillas. And somebody responded, seriously? The dude can't even beat a single ant.
Dude. What else is going on around here? Randy Shaver will be joining us a little bit later. Glen Perkins will be joining us to talk Twins baseball.
He'll be in a good mood.
Yeah, some positivity.
I'm seeing... Does anyone know what's behind this? I'm seeing a lot of talk about bathroom etiquette lately.
Ashley sent a couple things on. I guess that's all I've seen.
All right, let me give you the rundown here. Every bathroom should have some type of music playing at all times. They're referring to, I guess, public bathrooms for the noises that we make. I saw a conversation on the weirdest things people have seen in a private bathroom. I've seen an argument online about how half of Americans, if not more than half of Americans, want, again with this conversation, bathroom stalls with no gaps. And what was the other? When you go into a store and use their bathroom, do you buy something on your way out of guilt? Okay, and a conversation on urinal splashback.
Oh, I get so much of that.
All right, let's
You
go.
do.
I don't doubt that,
problem
Josh.
with that, Josh.
I know. I've changed my aim. I've stood different lengths from the urinal, and I can't figure it out.
It's just too strong.
I'm coated in it's my narrow urethra. I'm coated in it.
Honestly, sometimes I'll be near the bathroom. I'm like, is there somebody in there? There's a janitor in there spraying a hose into the urinal? What's going on in there? That's some serious pressure.
Yeah, Nick sounds like he's emptying a bucket, and I've got a pressure washer down there.
Yeah, everybody's different. Okay, let's go in reverse order then, from what I've already brought up. A study was done on the best way to avoid urinal splashback. Not something that I worry about. You know, you notice it once or twice, but, you know.
Not going to kill you.
Doesn't trouble me too much. You wash your hands, you move on with your life. But according to this study, it's all about the angle, by God, Josh, of the dangle.
I know there was Live Science, I think it was, earlier in the month. They released an article talking about a company that's working on urinal designs that will avoid the splashback. They're trying to figure this out.
There has to
Science is stepping in.
Okay, thank God. I would imagine that the urinal might be made with a bit of a bowed design. Do you understand the words that are? Is that the proper?
Yeah, you're describing something, sure.
Am I making any sense?
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
Where the back of the urinal would have some give to it, some bend to it. That would make sense to me. And I'm no scientist, but it's about the angle.
I mean, some of them are just odd, not necessarily even bowed, but just oddly shaped. One of them looked like you're peeing into a V. It looks like. So there's more urinal. It's not as open, right? It's more of a glory hole, really, is what it is. So there's less space there to bounce back.
Have you guys ever been in a bathroom where they get too creative with the urinal?
Not that I've ever
I've
noticed.
never seen a creative urinal.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if they get all fancy with the shapes every now and then.
I've seen the ones that are wall to floor,
Right.
Or the trough, certainly. But as
wall
far
to
as
floor. Oh, are those more dirty than usual?
Oh, they're more dirty for your feet.
Yeah, you don't want to be wearing flip-flops into that joint.
Doesn't bother me. But anyway, other than what Josh mentioned, no, I've barely noticed the design of. I mean, I just haul it out, push, and walk away. I don't spend much time paying attention to the design. But work on your angle, Josh.
yeah,
By directing the urine stream to hit the urinal surface at an angle, bring a protractor with you, I guess. By directing the urine stream to hit the urinal surface at an angle of less than 30 degrees, splashback is reduced by 95% compared to a perpendicular impact.
sure, I've tried it. I'm saying there's always some splashback, varying degrees. Eastbound at sundown, Jesus recommends I just try peeing in the next urinal over.
You think the other guy will mind?
No, he'll be all right with it. He'll
All right.
understand.
Let's say you pop into a public gas station, restaurant, whatever. Just to use the bathroom, do you buy something on your way out of guilt, or do you just leave? I'll answer first. I just leave.
I only ever go to a gas station if I have to use the restroom when I'm driving around. And no, I don't feel like you have to buy something at a gas station.
No.
Depends on how many people are in there. If it's just me and the gas station attendant, I'm going to buy some bubble gum or
Yeah.
something.
And it depends on what just happened in that bathroom, too.
Sympathy purchase.
Yeah. Well, I just smoked this place out. The least I could do is buy a Mountain Dew.
They're used to that. So, Josh, you say if it's just you and the gas station attendant, you'll buy something.
Yeah.
And that's strictly out of guilt?
Yeah, or just that/respect, I guess. I don't know.
So you don't look creepy?
Yeah.
All you've done is walk in and out of the
I
bathroom?
came in here to take a leak.
Because it is kind of embarrassing. Like, hey, the sole purpose I walked into this joint was to take a big dump and leave. I do feel guilty about that. So I will buy something, too.
All right, there you go. Depends where it is, some people are saying. Restaurant or coffee shop, you always buy something. anywhere that's part of a big chain, like, say, a McDonald's, you just walk out. I don't know the I don't understand the difference there.
Yeah, I'd be less likely at a restaurant, I think.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do?
More people.
Wait around for a BLT just because 53% of us want public bathroom stalls with no gaps. Boy, we're nervous. We're so shy now.
Maybe there's just too many weird folks out there. I mean, maybe that's part of it.
Could be.
I do point that out if I go to a bathroom that has like full doors like that. Usually if I leave, I tell the person I'm with, oh yeah, they have really nice bathrooms. They have like full doors, no cracks.
Huh.
So I guess there's obviously something to that for me.
Boy, I've only seen a couple of those where there's no gap in it whatsoever.
The only time I ever saw was when I traveled to England. It's the only time I ever left the country, and I was blown away. I'm like, this is luxurious. This is like my own little private room.
That's how you know it's fancy. Yeah.
Oh, so you're talking about, you're talking about a whole room to yourself with a real door.
Yeah, it's like a door to a closet with a toilet in it.
Okay, sure. You run into those once in a while, but we're talking about just regular standard public bathrooms. It's impossible to build those sections without gaps, right?
No, I just was at a car dealership 2 weekends ago, and they had doors like that in the bathroom.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times.
Oh, all right.
Just gapless doors.
Many of us, hell, a great majority of Americans, they don't feel like they have enough privacy in public bathrooms. So they want to find a way to eliminate the gaps in all bathroom stalls. I don't.
That's never bothered me.
No, I don't get. This is not a concern of mine. If someone wants to peek on me while I'm sitting on the toilet, that's your problem.
How else can I make eye contact with the person if there's no gaps?
Well, we've heard stories, too, about the people that are so self-conscious about at work that they bring a separate pair of shoes to bring into the stall, their poop shoes, so that if somebody looks down and they won't recognize that it's them pooping because they have different shoes on.
Well, there's a poop bathroom here. I mean, it seems like folks use the back bathroom for that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't think that back bathroom was a thing anymore.
It's not supposed to be used, but it is used for number twos.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm still going to use the one up front so everyone gets a dose of what I had for dinner last night. People are different, What happened to you as a kid that you have so much bathroom shame? Or why are you so afraid of that situation? Were your parents mean to you about your bathroom habits or something? I'm just asking. I'm just curious. I remember one of the funniest things I ever saw in a public bathroom was out at a concert one night, little club, and my brother had this gal hanging all over him one night, or on this particular night, I should say. My brother had this intoxicated woman hanging all over him. And they had the, what's the word I used, Josh? They had the... both, and anyone can go into the same bathroom. What do they call that?
There's the family bathroom or unisex.
Unisex, thank you. That's the word I was going for. They had the unisex bathrooms going at this joint. So I walked in at one point to take a squeege, and they had real doors on the stalls, like you guys were saying. You run into those rarely, but real doors on the stalls. Unfortunately, since this was a nightclub, some drunks had damaged these doors over the years, and there was just a broken piece in this door, and I could see through it as I was walking in to use one of the urinals. As I'm walking past, I see through this closed stall door, and I see my brother's clothing, so I know he's in there. And I could see well enough to notice that this gal was on her knees. I saw her in there, too. So it's my brother and this gal, and she's on her knees. And I thought, well, business is picking up around here. My brother decided to get a BJ in the bathroom, right? I went over and did my business and got the hell out of there, because it's not my business what's going on in that stall with my brother and this drunk lady. I went back to watching this concert. 10 minutes later, my brother comes around the corner, and I said, well, someone's having a good night tonight. And he says, what are you talking about? He looks behind himself. What are you talking about? I said, well, I walked in to take a squeege there. I saw what was going on. And he goes, no. She was throwing up. I was holding her freaking hair back for her.
Sucks.
We have a convenience store worker who has texted in, half Vietnamese Jesus, on her thoughts on using the bathroom and whether or not you should buy something.
Yeah.
So I work at a gas station. In fact, I just opened. Honestly, I would much rather someone came in and used the bathroom and not buy something than buy something, because now I've got to sit and watch you to see what you're doing and if you're not stealing or whatever the hell it is that we're supposed to do. Usually, I much rather you come in, use it, and leave.
Okay. I thought she was going to go the route where she doesn't want you going into the bathroom and then buying something, because then she could be possibly dealing with someone that has poo hands.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was going that way, too.
You're trading money. All right.
More anxiety than hair. Jesus said he likes to buy something because he's afraid if he just goes in. I've had this fear, too. If he just goes into the bathroom and leaves, somebody might think he was shoplifting something.
Well, but if he isn't, who cares if someone thinks that,
I was followed around by a manager at a shoe store because she totally thought I was shoplifting something.
Were you shoplifting?
No, not at all. I despise shopping. I don't like doing it. But I had to get some shoes for actually a Randy Shaver event. So I went in and I grabbed a pair of shoes and some
socks. Was it a tap dancing event?
Yeah, it was a tap dancing event.
Yeah, you bought some tap shoes?
Yeah, I moved to the Wednesday class. It's the more advanced class. That's a different story.
You bought shoes and socks?
I bought shoes and I just walked straight up to, I didn't do any look. Like, as I walked in, I saw shoes and went, oh, those will work. And I grabbed my size, grabbed like 6 pairs of socks. I needed more. Or not 6, like 6 packages of socks.
Sure.
Needed more socks. And walked, and she's like, hey, can I help you? And I was like, no, I'm good, whatever. And so as I was walking around, she followed me the whole time. And now, as you know, I was on the force, and that's what we would do if we thought somebody was stealing. So
why would anyone look at you and think you are there for evil?
I think what it was is I walked directly to this pair of shoes, walked directly to the socks, and I was on a mission because I just don't like to shop.
That's how I shop, too, and it's bitten me in the ass a few times. I'll take those pairs of pants right there, and you go home, they don't fit.
I don't try on clothes either.
I don't like to try on clothes too much because then I think they believe I'm stealing. Like if it's my 4th time in the same dressing room, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just having issues. I promise I'm not taking anything.
Is it tougher with women's sizes? I've heard it is.
Yeah, definitely.
With guys, it's like, okay, I'm a 30-something, 30, whatever you are. It seems to be pretty universal.
Yeah, those sizes seem to always be the same for the most part. But like I could go to Target and be a size 2 there, but then go to the mall and I'm a size 6 at a different store.
That's got to be humbling.
It is really upsetting.
I'm so much
sometimes.
thinner at Target.
Yeah, there's certain places I like to go because they make me feel better.
So, Josh, she followed you around. You bought your shoes and socks, and that was the end of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
she asked me like a couple times if I needed help. I'm like, no, I'm obviously good. I'm walking right up to what I need.
Oh, when you were at that shoe store, did you see some shoes that suck and some shoes shoes that rule?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the experience I have every time.
I vocalized it.
Closing out our conversation, all different angles on public bathrooms or bathrooms in general. It just seems as if we've been bombed with bathroom show material here lately. There are people out there that say every public bathroom should have some type of music playing at all times to dummy down on the noises. So many people are self-conscious about the noises that they make. Well, we have a nice situation here in this joint. We always have tunes going in the bathroom. So in the old days, it was so the DJ could tell where they were in the song they were playing and how much time they had to get back to do live radio. So we have that benefit here. And I can see why you would want it in every public bathroom. Like I said, because some folks are very shy and self-conscious about the noises.
I'm really lucky there's only one other woman here in the morning, and we are never in the bathroom at the same time. Feels nice. Would have full range.
Would it bother you? She's pretty laid back.
It would throw me off.
Would it really?
Yeah, because I'm not used to it. And thankfully, though, she's not one of those people that likes to have a conversation while going to the bathroom. There's a couple people like that in this office, and I hate it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll skip the bathroom if I see them going in ahead of me.
Yeah, no,
wait.
you're definitely right. There's some guys that'll be in the stall, and they'll strike up a conversation with you for sure in this building.
Why?
Urinal conversation's just fine. Don't talk to me if you got your pants at your ankles.
How else do you pee at the urinal? I was pretty excited that we got like some sort of automatic air freshener in the up front bathroom.
I noticed that too yesterday.
I want to get one of those. That was pretty cool.
I didn't notice that. What happens?
There's like it just sprays randomly.
Where is it located?
It's sitting on top of the paper towels.
And it'll every 5-10 minutes a battery goes off and it sprays some.
I was checking my body for blow darts because it sounded just like blow darts in the movie.
And finally, here's a conversation on the weirdest things people have seen in a private bathroom. So you're at somebody's house. I'm trying to think. Well, you know, when we were young guys in our late teens and early 20s, if you stopped by your bro's apartment, he likely had some hardcore porn mags in his bathroom. Other than that, I can't think of anything. The answers that grabbed me, though, weirdest things people have seen in a private bathroom. Whose place was this, Josh? Toilet paper made of real dollar bills?
Oh, dang.
Wow, like a Kardashian?
I mean, I would just steal that roll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Or was it just a display thing? I mean, toilet paper made of real dollar bills, that leads me to believe that people in that household are wiping with money. I'm going to take your toilet paper. A mirror directly facing the toilet. Who needs that?
Oh, no.
Oh, there's a bathroom that I use very, very often, and there's a mirror directly across from the toilet. And it's very humbling looking at yourself in that position.
Is it above a sink?
Yeah, yep.
You get to
but
walk.
it's low enough where it's like I can see from the middle of my chest up. So I'm just making eye contact with
Checking
myself.
your poop face.
If ever you wondered what you look like when struggling and forcing, you can look in that mirror. Also, adult toys on full display on a shelf stacked up like trophies somebody saw in a private bathroom. Well, that's fun.
Gross.
I saw some in the shower once, but never just on display, ready to go.
You saw toys in a shower?
Yeah, I'm
Did
guessing
they have children?
I'm guessing somebody threw them in there to wash them. Sex toys.
Oh, that kind of well, that's
Yeah.
a completely different thing. All right.
Oh, did I not make that clear that I meant sex toys?
I might have skipped over that if you said it.
Yeah, sex toys on a shelf displayed like trophies. Sorry, I think I just said toys, and that's not interesting at all. Yeah, sex toys.
This person says I was at a department store once where a guy answered his phone while using the stall. Oh, yeah, we got a guy here that does that.
Yeah?
Yeah, all the time. Every time I've seen him in there, I think he's on his phone.
Huh.
There was a guy that used to work here who was arguing. The guy that used to get yelled at by his kids and wife all the time.
Oh, no.
Oh, dang.
He was getting yelled at by one of those. I'm not sure which one he was on. He didn't even get peace and quiet on the toilet.
He was one sorry sumbitch.
Oh,
Yeah,
he got yelled at all the time.
Oh, did he deserve it, Josh?
No.
He's like one of the sweetest guys of all time.
Well, but that's why. That's why. This guy was so gentle and sweet that he set himself up for abuse. And his wife and teenage kids treated him like he was the lowest form of life on planet Earth, and he put up with it every time. And we saw it happen a few times, and it was friggin' disgusting. So, yeah, he didn't have a minute's peace. Even when he's trying to cut a deuce, one of his teenage kids would be calling to yell at him because there's not enough gas in the car or something like that. That poor bastard.
He kind of reminded me of not as funny Eugene Levy. He kind of had that personality to me.
Yeah, he was
kind of that bit.
Sort of like Eugene. We got to get going. Tell you what, we're happy to have you with us here on a Tuesday morning. We'll check in, like I said, at 7:30 with, of course, Randy Shaver, but also Glen Perkins to talk some Twins baseball. And we'll have all different levels of madness in there somewhere as well, including the stupid news, which is coming up next on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Idly ho, neighborinos.
93X.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
What's up, everyone? It's Trevor Sikkema here from the PFF NFL Show, here to get you ready for the 2025 NFL Draft. We're dropping PFF podcast episodes 3 times a week with the rankings, sleepers, team fits, mock drafts, and more, powered by the same data used by all 32 NFL teams. If you want a deeper insight into this year's class and how it all shapes up on draft day, we've got you covered. Become a smarter draft fan right now on the PFF NFL Podcast. The PFF NFL Podcast, part of the Believe Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
If you don't mind, you don't mind, Cubby, I'd like to go back to a couple of topics that we covered already because some text messages came in with comments from our wonderful listening audience. We had a hell of a conversation on public bathrooms. Oh, for God's sake, how do we cut down on urinal splashback? Can we have public bathrooms where there are no gaps in the doors? What else did we cover with the we covered everything when it comes to public bathrooms.
Got to turn my mic on. While using the bathroom just now, I realized I have another argument for the full door bathrooms.
Full door, no gaps.
Yes. Sometimes.
Did someone watch you go pee-pee?
No. Sometimes, like today, I decide to wear a full bodysuit.
Full bodysuit.
And so I'm getting like completely naked in the stall.
All right.
So I would like a full door.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I remember there was a girl that told me about, was it a jumper? Is that what it's called?
A romper.
A romper, okay. Is a jumper what a baby wears?
Honestly, that might work too, but yeah, I think so.
So a romper, why would that be designed that way?
I don't know, and I always forget when I'm going out when I put a romper on. Oh, shoot. Especially if I go out drinking, because then I'm using the bathroom so much more often, but usually if I reach a certain level in my drinking, I'll just like pull a leg over.
Why don't you just do that anyways? Or is that more difficult than it sounds?
It's you're risking it at that point.
You're getting naked on and off every 20 minutes like you're working at Rick's Cabaret. Chilly in that bathroom, in this building. I bet it's chilly to be naked in this bathroom.
It is.
Oh,
It
my
sucks.
damn. Yeah.
I did not think ahead this morning.
All right. This is something maybe we should look up. It sounds like there's some character out there on that godless social media who pranks people. He goes into public bathrooms while a stranger's cutting a deuce, and this prankster just cuts loose with an evil, awkward laugh while the stranger is cutting one. I would like to... anyone heard of that?
No.
Not until this text.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I don't know if it's the same person, but somebody sent the YouTube video of it. I haven't watched it yet.
Can you imagine, Josh? You're just you in the stall, and you're unleashing the fury. You hear the door open and close. Oh, God, somebody's in here. And then the only noise they make is just like a...
That's so scary.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, I'd appreciate the humor, but sure, I'd also be scared they're insane.
We also tackled the most popular conversation going right now. I don't care who you are. You've probably heard of this. The conversation, the argument is one gorilla versus 100 men. A fight to the death. Who wins? We had our takes on it earlier. I don't think we stand much of a chance. Josh has high hopes for the 100 men.
There'll be a lot of casualties amongst those men, but I think, you can distract the gorilla as it squeezes the eyeballs and brains out of head after head after head of the first guys. Somebody's going for the nuts, the solar plexus, the neck, its eyeballs.
We had a lot of people say you got to go for the gorilla's eyes. It's always the eyes, right? We had others say, grab on. We got to get one guy to grab onto the gorilla's pee-pee.
Oh, and we take the smallest guy and we just cram it down the gorilla's throat. Maybe he chokes on the tiny guy.
Oh, that's smart, Josh.
We're jamming an entire human being into the gorilla's throat?
He's making a great sacrifice for the rest of us.
All right, speaking of sacrifice, here's a text message I received from Blondes Are Just for Practice Jesus. These are his thoughts on how we 100 men can defeat the one adult gorilla. He says, I don't want to do it, but I am willing to sacrifice. And here's his strategy. He says, while I'm dishing out a rookie Beej, he'll be distracted enough for you guys to kick his ass.
That's a bold sacrifice.
A lot of people texting that in. That's how you beat that gorilla.
But he says, boys, just don't run away after I start. He's going to distract him with a rookie job. And the gorilla will be thinking, well, what is this, right? And then the rest of us are in charge of pouncing, Josh.
Yeah.
And murdering the gorilla.
On the bathroom topic, plenty of people are saying Hy-Vee and Quick Trip. Those are the places you want to go to the bathroom. They have the best bathrooms, according to the Brother and Sisterhood.
Sure, Hy-Vee has a big, heavy door. It's your own private room. It's not stalls haphazardly screwed together. Yeah, I know all about Hy-Vee. What was the other joint?
Quick Trip.
I don't have one of those in my neighborhood. But I've got plenty of experience at Hy-Vee. All right. How about the stupid news? Welp, if you want to go to jail for drugs, here is certainly a fun, interactive way to go about it. And this story comes out of a place called Lufkin, Texas. Lufkin. Police went a-looking for a feller. This was on Easter Sunday, so whatever, a couple weeks ago. Police went a-looking for a feller who was hiding plastic Easter eggs filled with dope all over town. And the guy would post clues on how to find the marijuana eggs on soulless social media.
What great marketing. That's pretty creative.
Yeah, it is creative.
I mean, it didn't work out for him, but at the same time, I mean, it seems like a pretty clever, fun idea.
Someone who hangs out on Facebook tipped the cops off about the dude putting on this ganja-related scavenger hunt. Word is the dude posted hints on Facebook. The hints were 4 different photos showing a rough location as to where the eggs were hidden. Just like you see, don't you and your mother, Ashley, get involved in some wacky scavenger hunt every year?
Yep, we do.
You seem kind of bitter about it this year.
Yeah, because she wasn't on top of it, and usually I follow her lead. And she was so busy with work during the time that we weren't able to go treasure hunting. We looked for the St. Paul medallion. It's a part of their winter carnival celebration. We've gotten pretty darn close in some of the years.
I've never tried it. So the gist is is it the Pioneer Press?
Yes.
They put out clues. Is it daily?
Yes, daily.
And what do you win?
I believe it's $10,000 if you have a certain button. And then if you're not registered, I believe it's $5,000. I might be wrong on those numbers, but it's a pretty hefty,
Awesome.
hefty number.
Pretty cool.
The person that won this year, Josh, that's probably why I seemed bitter. He's won multiple times in the past.
I remember you complaining about that.
Yeah, I think there should be some type of rule. Like, after you win, you can't win for 5 years.
He must be in cahoots with medallion people if he's won it that many times.
That's the rumor, Dana.
Bug-Eye Wagon Jesus, you can F right off this morning. He said, too bad Ashley's mom isn't like your mom. She's always on top of things.
That's so quick.
My God, man. Yeah, how did you... There's even a delay here. How did he do that so fast? Good point.
There's some quick-thinking perverts out there. Okay,
He's not even going to hear this for 20 more seconds.
Right. Back to this dude putting on the marijuana-related scavenger hunt. Again, he was hiding Easter eggs all over town filled with weed, and then he'd post clues on social media as to where folks could find them. The cops won the scavenger hunt. Again, they were tipped off by someone on Facebook that this was going on. They found all 4 dope-filled plastic eggs. There was one more weed egg out there that the cops didn't know about. A dude and his granddaughter found that last egg on the day after Easter, and they turned that into police after they smoked a small amount.
Well, they had to destroy it.
In total, the police recovered over 1/4 of an ounce of the devil's lettuce. The dude hid most of the eggs in this park in town, but he did hide one behind the local Motel 6. And apparently the creative character behind this gimmick was a young kid with the name of Avante Nicholson. All the cops had to do, of course, was look into his silly Facebook page a little bit to figure out who he was. There were multiple statements on his Facebook page about selling narcotics. So they know who he is, but they still haven't found him. They're still looking for Avante Nicholson.
I hope he gives them some clues, just like his Easter egg hunt. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, maybe he'll continue the game. Ashley, would you smoke found marijuana?
No.
What if it's from a known drug dealer, like this guy?
No, and I guess unless they were mine. They were my drug
When I'm talking
dealer.
about found marijuana, you have no idea where it came from. You just find it in a cup or in a bag or something.
No, I get too sketched out. When I was younger, I found some weed of one of my brothers, and I took some of that. I thought, it's got a big jar of it. I'll just skim a little off the top. Well, it turned out that marijuana was laced with PCP or something of that nature.
That'll end your night.
Well, actually, I ended up having a really good day. But after that, I was like, because that's when I learned that marijuana could be laced with other things.
Did you know that your brother was the type to smoke marijuana laced with PCF me running pee?
No. No.
Good Lord.
I was very surprised.
I found marijuana once in my own motor vehicle, Josh.
Oh,
I think you told me that.
Yeah. God dang, that was a surprise. You know, some vehicles have a cute little, what do you want to call this thing, Josh?
like a
Can't see.
Pocket?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sunglass holder up there?
Yeah, that's what it is. Some kind of cute little sunglasses holder in the ceiling of your vehicle, right?
Yep.
I did not even know that was there, and I bet I had the vehicle for 3 years. And I was doing something in my car, and I nudged that sunglass holder, and it opened, and a bag of grass fell down into my lap. And I thought, well, what the hell? It didn't take me too long to figure out who the top suspect or suspects might be. But I thought about smoking that found marijuana.
You did?
I did. Because this was back many, many years ago when I might still have a little puffy puff now and again.
I had marijuana in one of my vehicles knowingly. I found out at the very end of the ride, and I was pretty frustrated about it. It was actually I forget exactly what we were doing here, but we had some guests in studio, and they were hammered by the end of it. So I said, I'll give you a ride home. And it was a couple of ladies and a guy. And one of the ladies started smoking pot on the way home, and
in your car without asking.
And this is way before it was even close to legal.
Right.
And I was terrified. I'm so sheltered. I think I've only seen it twice. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
It scared you when she started.
It was frightening. It was very frightening.
How rude that she didn't even ask.
Yeah.
Well, I was pretty frustrated. Hey, I don't want to get in I don't know what the rules are. If I'm the driver, I'm in charge. I have no idea. I don't want this to happen. I'm trying to be a nice guy so you guys don't get in some trouble on the way home.
I'm pissed off. I really am. That would piss me off.
That's really disrespectful.
And it's not as if I'd be thinking, well, I'm going to jail. It's just, you just think you can light a joint in my car whenever you want to? I don't know why this is bothering me so much, but I'm angry now.
I was pretty frustrated.
Yeah, what a prick.
And I was terrified. So I didn't want to be this guy, but since somebody else texted, I need to say something because it kind of confused me too, something you said. Why is Nick referring to the taco holder as a, quote, sunglasses holder? I was curious as well.
I've never kept a taco or anything else up in that. Like I said, I didn't even know it was there.
Those pictures are funny when somebody just got a hard shell in that sunglass holder.
That's a real thing?
It's a joke. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it does. Because it looks like perfect to hold a taco.
Is it an internet joke?
Yeah,
Yes.
Never tried that. Now I want to.
Chugged up plumber Jesus found weed in a new car he bought, and it was laced with acid. Worst high ever.
Oh, see, that's
I was
terrible.
supposed to do that in the comic book guy voice. I missed that part. Yeah, worst high ever for him.
He found weed where? I'm sorry?
In a new car he bought. He smoked some found weed. Is that something you got to worry about with fentanyl nowadays, where they say, oh, don't trust the drugs because it might have fentanyl in it?
Jesus, I have no idea.
I've seen a couple of viral posts about local weed from certain dealers that have been lacing it with fentanyl. Yeah,
And that's why people carry Narcan around with them.
Yep.
Would you do me a favor, Ashley? Would you holler at me if they start finding that in canned beer?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'd appreciate that. All right, this here next setup reminds me of the story of Johnny Kelly, notoriously known by the criminal underworld as Johnny Dangerously. As many of you know, back in 1984, Johnny's life was saved when a bullet fired at him struck his chewing gum case that he kept in his breast pocket. That little case of chewing gum stopped the bullet and saved Johnny Dangerously's life. Now, here's a nerd whose life may have been saved. Well, I think you can just straight up say this nerd's life was saved by a stack of those Pokemon cards. And this nerd told his or her story on that wildly misinformed social media. They go by the name of Lola. Now, Lola didn't have the Pokemon cards in his or her breast pocket like Johnny Dangerously did with his chewing gum, but nevertheless, the cards did act as a shield to protect him or her from incoming bullets. It sounds like Lola lives in a neighborhood even worse than the Lower East Side, which is where Johnny Dangerously came from. The Lower East Side. This really sucks. But it sounds like Lola lives in a neighborhood even worse. He or she was asleep at home when they were awoken by loud pops. Apparently this was common enough in Lola's neighborhood that Lola just assumed, my neighbors again with the gunfights, right? Lola believes that her neighbor accidentally fired towards Lola's house. Accidentally. The bullet came ramshackling through Lola's bedroom, and it was brought to a dead stop when it rammed into Lola's Pokemon card collection, which was kept in a plastic bin summers there in the room. It says here the 9mm bullet was still inside the bin when the cops showed up, and they say that if the cards hadn't been there, the bullet likely would have brained Lola as he or she was laid out in bed.
It's crazy, man. It's like it was a few years ago we talked about there was a priest that was saved by a Bible he had in his breast pocket.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story. Yep. I hope Pokemon hooks her up with something.
You know, I bet you're right. I bet that's going to happen.
Well, that would be nice. Lola said on social media, I'm okay. I've never been happier to have piles of Pokemon cards in my box. If you're wondering what happened to Lola's neighbor, who was being so reckless with his gun, he was attacked by fellow citizens and beaten into oblivion. You've gotten to be like a daughter to me, and I want to share something with you. Aw, that's nice. What's that, Ma Kelly? I go both ways. Greatest scene from Johnny Dangerously. All right, this is ridiculous. Josh is headed to Boston later this week. We We talked about that yesterday. Now that you're a big shot world traveler, maybe next stop, Japan? Huh?
I'd love to go to Japan.
Yeah.
Only if you'll accompany me.
I know. I'd like to go there, too. And you're probably the only one that I would go with.
Ditto.
Because we have such similar motivations for visiting Japan. We just want to go to all the rock shows. We want to get some girlfriends, too, while we're there. And we want to eat a lot of their food.
If you're in Japan, is it cheating?
No.
If you find a Japanese girlfriend?
No.
It's encouraged.
It doesn't matter where you are, Josh. It's never cheating if you find a Japanese girlfriend.
Especially if you don't speak the same language?
Right. This year is a full-on Japanese goat rodeo. This is just ridiculous. Mount Fuji, Josh. Boy, I bet there's long lines for that.
There might be.
Mount Fuji. A college kid in his 20s had to be rescued from what they call here the slopes of Mount Fuji. This college kid had to be rescued twice in the same week because he's a stupid idiot.
Stop it, dude. Why are you going there then?
If you're a rescuer, do you take your time on the second one? You know what? Maybe this is a whole Darwin thing, and we shouldn't get in the way. This is God's plan.
That's a good question. The story refers to this kid as a, quote, climber, but it doesn't sound like he's earned that label yet.
You can't call yourself that if you need two rescues.
No, you are not a climber. Okay, so the first time around, I'm not sure what happened, but the kid was climbing around up there on godforsaken Mount Fuji, got lost or whatever. They had to go ahead and fly a helicopter into the mix to pull the kid out of there. Pain in the ass, right? But they did. 4 days later, another climber, a legitimate one, found the same kid on the mountain. This time the kid was all effed up with attitude sickness. He's standing in the corner puking his guts out.
Attitudes.
Oh, what did I say?
You said attitudes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke.
I've seen that with young people at times.
Yeah. My bad. The kid was all effed up with altitude sickness. 4 days later, same kid, stranded on the mountain. Another climber finds this kid. Rescue teams had to go fetch his ass again.
Oh, hey, guys.
When the rescue pimps recognized the kid, they said, "Didn't we just pull you out of here 4 days ago?" And the kid said, "Well, yeah, I went back because I left my cell phone the first time."
No.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is so perfect for today, isn't it?
This stupid kid.
I kind of sympathize with the kid when I realized he lost his phone, I'll be honest. That sucks.
Man, it's gone. It's gone. All right?
I think that'd be wonderful. I couldn't possibly go back to the mountain. I'm sorry I couldn't respond to any work emails or phone calls, texts, that kind of thing.
Short but fat, Jesus thinks that this was some cry for help. I don't know. I don't know how young people operate. That's one hell of a dramatic cry for help. But maybe you know the young people better than I do. Short but fat. Jesus. I'm sorry. I got to ask this question to Ashley. When you tried the PCP weed, Ashley?
Yeah.
Did you end up in Debo's chicken coop? Oh, man. If you've seen the movie Friday, that's funny. Obviously, you people have not.
I'm sorry. I wish I could laugh at that.
Oh, Smokey. That happened to Smokey in the documentary Friday. He tried some weed with PCP in it, and he ended up in Debo's chicken coop. It was not pretty. All right, thank you. Who was that? Steelers fan, Jesus. And other fans of the movie Friday, thank you. The three people that I'm working with this morning have no idea.
I laughed. By the way, that movie just celebrated its 30th anniversary. I think,
my God!
Last week, maybe?
30 years?
Yeah. Wasn't it 95?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I thought it was just a couple days ago.
That movie is so friggin' funny. So is Johnny Dangerously, by the way. What the hell were we talking?
I haven't seen that one.
What, that's insane. What were we talking about? Oh, the kid on the mountain. Yeah. So the second time the kid got rescued, and the rescue folks said, "Weren't you just here 4 days ago?" He says, "Well, yeah, but the first time I left my cell phone, so." The incident has reminded folks of the dangers Mount Fuji poses to SAWFT soft, inexperienced climbers. Are there dead carcasses all over that mountain? Don't we always hear that these big giant mountains, there's 300-year-old dead carcasses still laid out?
I know Everest. I don't know if that's the same on every mountain.
And there's usually stacks and stacks of human feces.
That's pretty common.
Yeah.
And trash, too.
Ooh, trash.
People just leave everything behind, all their water bottles and food containers.
I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with the 300-year-old dead bodies and the stacks of feces. Wouldn't that be something, Dana, if we were climbing that mountain and I came down to the bottom and I said, oh, my God, the dead bodies and all the feces. And Dana says, yeah, and there's some water bottles up there, too.
I had to step over so many Dinty Moore beef stew cans on my way.
And the people be like, water bottles? What the... I don't know.
Yeah, I think they use those as milestones. You know, oh, what did you reach? I reached the guy, he was wearing the Flintstones T-shirt. Or he was wearing, something from like the 1940s. Yeah. He was wearing a zoot suit. Well, actually, that could have been the late 90s, early 2000s as well.
Ew.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. Debo's chicken coop. All right. Oh God, look at the time already. I gotta get going again. One more here? Yeah, I guess one more. Yeah, I'll go with this one. It's very dramatic if you haven't heard these stories before. I understand. Very dramatic. Not trying to scare anybody. We've discussed this kind of thing quite a few times on the program. Indonesia. This happens all the time. And it happened again a few days ago. Someone goes for a walk in Indonesia, and they end up getting sucked into the yap of a 200-some-odd-foot-long bloodthirsty python.
I hate snakes! I hate them!
Happens all the time. Says here, this time around, a python upped and swallowed a lady while she was effing around in her garden. And when her grandson finally found her, the python had deep-throated this poor gal's skull, and she was dead.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes.
So I suppose she didn't go for a walk. She was on her own property. So you're not safe anywhere in Indonesia. Her grandson, like I said, found her. Did I say that already? Yes. He said, I was always worried about her working on the farm. I've seen big snakes before. She had worked on the farm since she was a little girl, so she was not afraid. That's a terrible deal. A few years ago, an older gal was walking around there in Indonesia, and she never made it home. The following day, her husband found that a 340-foot python had swallowed her whole.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
That's a big python.
Oh, I bet that just... I can imagine the feeling.
No, you can't.
All that spit around you.
They did say she was slimy when they pulled her out.
Empty water bottles, too.
All the trash.
The beef stew cans rattling around in there.
The feeling of spit all over you. What about the feeling of your bones crushing on the inside and your guts falling out your mouth? And Ashley's thinking, ew, spit.
It's wet, gross.
This whole experience is so wet. All right, that's terrible. And we'll take a moment of silence for that lady because it's just not right. We got to take a break. Sports is coming up next.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
Remember, there are no stupid questions, just stupid people.
Stubbornness and riding a motorcycle. That's a bad mix, right? Like refusing to wear a helmet or refusing to observe the speed limit. But then there are the stubborn who refuse to lose control, refuse to take a turn too tightly, and who would never miss out on a rider training course. See, being safely stubborn on a motorcycle is a good thing. Always wear proper gear. Enroll in a rider training program today at motorcyclesafety.org.
A message from the Minnesota Department of Public Safety.
Xcel Energy wants to remind you, if you see a downed power line, think of it as a sleeping cat. One that will definitely scratch you if you wake it up. but it's more dangerous than that, so maybe a sleeping tiger. You know what? Just imagine any downed power line you see is a sleeping T-Rex and stay at least 30 feet away. Or, well, maybe more than 30 feet. It's a T-Rex. Always stay 30 feet or more away from downed power lines. Learn more at excelenergy.com/safety.
People love us and your pets will too. The Daisy, Daisy, Daisy carpet cleaning crew.
Spring is here, and it's time to make your carpets, furniture, area rugs, and tile feel fresh again. For over 20 years, Daisy has been getting rid of the winter dull and restoring your home's shine. Get a quote and book today at daisycarpetcleaning.com because fresh feels better.
People love us and your pets will too. The Daisy, Daisy, Daisy carpet cleaning crew.
Okay, who's ready to fish? Fleet Farm's all stocked and ready to go with the hottest brands to help you gear up for the season. Like the latest lines and lures from Berkley, Fluger rods and reels, Northland tackle, bobbers, and bait, all sorts of Senko worms, the best in fish finders from Humminbird, Lowrance, and Garmin, St. Croix rods, new releases from Abu Garcia, and more. Stop in and check out the latest fishing gear from all your favorite brands at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
What's better than the thrill of reeling in your next trophy catch? Saving big while gearing up for it. The Shields Fishing Sale event is on now through May 4th. Save 20% on Shields Outfitters rods and 20% on baits, lures, and plastics from Berkley, Rapala, BMC, Acme, and more. And don't miss out on over $1,000 in savings on Garmin Ultra 2 Live Scope bundles. Our Shields fishing experts are ready to prepare you for unforgettable fishing memories. Only at Shields and Shields.com.
Are you a man suffering from hair loss? The Minnesota Clinical Studies Center is looking for volunteers to participate in a clinical research study involving an investigational oral medication. For information, call 763-502-2929. That's 763-502-2929.
You're listening to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Traffic is brought to you by Aquarius Home Services. Are you ready to love your water? With Connecticut's on-demand efficiency, you'll enjoy softer skin, cleaner laundry, and dishes that sparkle. Schedule your free water analysis at AquariusHomeservices.com and save up to 25%.
There's a crash in St. Paul, 94 westbound at Highway 52, and a crash in Burnsville, 35W northbound at Highway 13. At your traffic, this is 93X.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC Chicken and Waffles. Hand-breaded chicken, rich waffles, sweet syrup, plus plenty of stares from onlookers. It's what the scientific community calls order envy. A diagnosis best treated with, you guessed it, chicken and waffles from KFC.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
For those that hate it, fine. I mean, it just sucks because you're missing out on a
it's
guy.
Like hating blow. How do you hate Steph Curry? It's ridiculous.
I'm not exactly sure who Bill Simmons is. He appears to be some kind of an internet sports guy, and he dumped an interesting analogy out there for everybody. And I can't wait to share this with Randy Shaver a little bit later. He said that hating Stephon Curry is like hating BJs.
If you had to be compared to a sex act, what would you like to be compared to?
Wow.
Like if somebody, and I don't even like these words coming out of my mouth, but if somebody said, if hating Nick, I don't like saying that, if hating Nick is, that's like hating blankety blank.
That's a great question. I mean, BJ's is...
That's an honor.
That's at the top of the list.
Yeah.
I mean, those are wonderful. I'm going to go with double anal, double vaginal.
Oh.
I got to draw this out.
That takes some skill. And a lot of people.
We're going to get back to this when Randy Shaver is in the mix, because I want him to... Because I have a reason, or I have quite a few reasons to hate Stephon Curry. I do. But it's no doubt a funny analogy. So we're going to get back to this when Randy Shaver jumps in here a little bit later. It's their rink, it's their ice, and it's their effing town. Tonight, the Pigs and the Las Vegas Golden Knights drop the puck, and hopefully the Mits as well. 8:30, 8:45, somewhere's in that neighborhood, puck drop.
It does feel like a brawl's coming in this series at some point.
I hope so. I want to see one.
I don't know. I would have thought it would have happened by now. And now that it's a best 2 out of 3,
sure.
Now that it's such a close series, I hope I'm wrong. But now that it's a best 2 out of 3, I don't know which club is going to take that chance.
Sure.
So, but we'll see. She's a best 2 out of 3 now. The Pigs and the Knights. And the Twins pumped the Cleveland Guardians last night, pretty much from the get-go. And in a half hour here, Glen Perkins will join us to talk about the Twins and whatever the hell else he's got on his mind. Stick around. Josh's news report is coming up next.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Nice.
93X.
Nice.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
This is Women's Work with Nicole Khalil.
I would rather have the temporary pain of discomfort than the avoidable pain of regret. There are too many of us that we're waiting for someday, and the clock is ticking.
Redefining what it means to be doing women's work.
Make sense of this wild, chaotic, and beautiful world and your place in it. That is woman's work.
This is Women's Work from Believe. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They are in an alternate reality than ours. They are in that rock and roll rock reality.
They surround themselves with these professional dickheads.
And I'm not even really sure if they're aware, you know?
I don't think they're aware of how much they suck.
93X rocks.
They open up the back gate, look inside the house, check no one's home, jump in the pool. So we've come to the conclusion he's obviously scoping out the property to make sure no one's home.
Despite the Canadian accent.
Yeah,
there,
what the hell was that now?
This is an Australian family, the story is telling me, who are dealing with a stranger who snuck into their home half a dozen times to swim into their pool without permission.
Yeah.
Labeling the move as entitled, 30-year-old Holly Stevens said the unknown man had repeatedly snuck onto their property in northern Brisbane to take a dip at least 5 times since January. The amateur aquanaut, candidly caught on camera, would courteously kick off his shoes and socks at the front door, a polite prelude to an impromptu pool party of one. While the family claims to have caught him in the act 5 times, they do believe he may have snuck in several other times. We installed better CCTV after about the second time, so now we can see pretty clearly when he accesses the property. But yeah, before, it's like he could have entered and we wouldn't have known, she said, calling the situation bizarre.
He's like sweaty, has sneakers on and is running, and then he's stretching in the pool after a run, which is honestly very gross.
A Queensland police spokesperson said they're investigating.
He just can't be stopped.
No, he loves their pool.
Oh, he looks so casual about it, too.
It is pretty funny. Watch him kind of just peek around. Like, all right, here we go.
Maybe it's
quick rinse.
About time to run a stray power line into that pool?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Buy a bunch of hair dryers. Just chuck them in. Staying with stories in the water, but in a different hemisphere. First, a guy steals a swim. Then, a woman drowns her dignity. A not-so-sober Sunday night in Florida ended with a splash and an arrest. Just after 2:30 a.m. yesterday, 27-year-old Cassandra Kaiser barreled through an intersection and straight into the bay. Instead of sticking around, though, she jumped out and swam to shore. Police say she made it out safely, but when officers caught up with her, it was clear something was off. She was Dana 4th of July Booze Cruise 2023 drunk.
Oh, that's drunk.
So they took her into custody for DUI. You were very drunk that day.
Oh, yeah.
Police in Wyoming, Minnesota are casting a wide net, literally and figuratively, after someone's been dumping dead carp at multiple spots around town. The department described the situation as a fishy situation on Facebook.
Did they really?
They did.
It's upsetting.
Saying strange calls started coming in April 10th about someone dumping piles of dead fish at a local boat launch.
You get the complaints around the odor, but you also just hope that it's not laying on the side of the boat launch.
There are better ways to dispose of them or handle them, the chief said. In Minnesota, it's illegal to waste any usable part of a protected wild animal, and while carp aren't on that list, they are considered invasive, so dumping them is classified as literally. Didn't have that in the story, but I added it because I screwed up. That's a misdemeanor with a $150 fine. Carp were originally introduced in the 70s to help control algae and aquatic plants in wastewater ponds, but during periods of high water, some escaped and spread into the lower and middle Mississippi. Since the early 2000s, the Department of Natural Resources has been trying to slow their spread. Anyone who wants to keep invasive carp needs to download a special permit to possess prohibited invasive species of carp.
A lot of people use them for gardening, for fertilizer.
The chief said the Facebook post about the, quote, carp culprits has already gotten hundreds of comments, but as of press time, they were still looking to, quote, reel in some leads.
They're having fun.
Yeah.
Boy, they're big, ugly bastards, too, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, gross.
A Brinks home security company truck accidentally made it rain on a Chicago area freeway last week, scattering bags of cash out the back. But the good people of Illinois scooped it up and brought it back to their homes. Police say the back door of the truck opened by unknown means in Oak Park and then had 3 bags of cash fall out last Tuesday. Brinks said when they came back to the area, about 50 to 100 people were seen grabbing the money and taking off. According to the security company, the total estimated loss was about $300,000.
Oh, man.
If this sounds familiar, it's because it is. In November 2021, an armored truck near San Diego suffered an impromptu explosion of wealth when its doors flung open on Interstate 5, prompting drivers to stop their cars and pick up the cash. Before that, in May of 2018, Indiana State Police revealed a Brinks armored truck store opened, and authorities said a substantial amount of money fell out of that truck.
Yeah, I think I could control myself. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm certainly it'd be tempting. There'd probably be a split second where you think, maybe I'll go for it, but I'd continue on my way.
I've seen the videos before. It's pretty pathetic to watch.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be one of those people.
A 24-year-old man sitting in jail after pulling off a Hollywood-worthy heist at a Miami Beach hotel, stealing nearly $2 million worth of luxury cars. Surveillance footage captured the suspect, Gregory Yurdy Jr., crawling into a valet key room inside the hotel's garage. Once inside, he snagged the keys to the fast and the luxurious. 4 vehicles, including a Rolls-Royce and a Mercedes-Benz G-Class. According to Miami Beach police, a Cadillac Escalade was spotted tailing one of the stolen cars back into the garage, and witnesses saw 2 men hop out and the Escalade drive off. Another man took the stolen wheels. Hours later, just before 6 a.m., he returned to the scene of the crime and made off with 2 more luxury vehicles, which was a bad call because he was caught and arrested for grand theft. Police say he had help, but apparently no other arrests have yet been made.
Wow.
That's not a lot of cars for $2 million.
No.
Expensive rides there. Airplane passengers found themselves going nowhere fast Friday, stuck on the tarmac for nearly 90 minutes after staff accused someone of stealing a security guard's phone. Wrongly accused, it turns out.
That sucks.
The flight was supposed to leave London for Albania at 3:10 p.m., but just before takeoff, cabin crew told passengers they weren't going anywhere. Security footage had apparently shown someone swiping a phone at the airport, they said. An announcement from the crew warned, "We know the phone's on board, and we can't leave until you turn it in." In an effort to call the culprit's bluff, staff called the missing phone. And when someone picked up, they claimed they could hear the plane's announcements in the background. Proof, they said, the culprit was sitting among the passengers. They weren't. So the case continued. Tensions rose about an hour into the Sherlockian saga. A different crew member announced they were reviewing security footage again and pleaded for whoever had the phone just hand it over so they could go. Well, no one did. When that didn't work, police boarded and found nothing. Finally, after nearly an hour and a half of confusion, frustration, and false alarms, the crew sheepishly announced there was no missing phone after all.
Oh, it's so embarrassing.
It had been a false alarm, someone made a mistake, and finally they were cleared to depart.
I would be so angry if they had me trapped there.
It's like they keep finding more and more different ways for airline travel to just be awful.
So where the hell was the phone?
Don't know. I don't even know if it was missing. Maybe the guy's like, oh, it was in my other pocket.
What a nightmare.
Yeah, they just, they held on as long as they could. Well, I think I'd be tempted just to say, yeah, we got the guy. Told you. Yeah, we brought him to justice.
Oh, definitely. I would not admit to that.
Totally his fault that we were late.
Have you had that moment as a parent, Josh, where you're sure that you've caught a kid or you're accusing a kid of something and realize, oh, God, there's actually nothing happening here?
No.
is I could see myself jump as a parent, if I was ever a parent, God forbid, I could see myself jumping to conclusions like that and assuming the worst from the kids. Something's missing, something like that, and then having to somehow try to save face when I realize that, I've had an item in my pocket or whatever the case may be.
I've had that happen to me, though.
What happened?
My wife accused me of losing her earbuds, right? And so she had no way to listen to her music in public. And she said for sure it was me. And I thought, well, why would I have them? So I said, well, here, you can just have mine. I never use them anyways. Go ahead and take them. And then I needed some, so I bought a new pair. And I would say, fast forward about 4 months, she found them at the bottom of her purse under her purse tuna.
Oh,
yeah. But to her credit, she admitted it.
That's good.
Yeah, she did admit it.
She admitted she was wrong, and she jumped to the incorrect conclusion.
Yeah, and now she has 2 pairs of headphones. Actually, did I give you one, Ashley? I think maybe I offered you a pair.
You might have, but I already have some.
You got some?
Yep.
Residents of St. Johns County, Florida, awoke April 15th through an unexpected twist of morning wood. A naked man brandishing a large branch and enthusiastically banging on doors and windows in the nude. The star of the woodsy spectacle, later identified as 44-year-old Alejandro Barzaga,
Bazinga,
had more to give that morning. He shattered the glass on the kitchen door while the terrified homeowners barricaded themselves in a bedroom and frantically called 911 as the naked man continued wielding the wood. When police pruned the prowler from the scene, they discovered he lived just a stick swing away. After the trip to his home revealed clothes strewn about, a purse abandoned, and a suspiciously wide-open garage door, they went in to check on the occupants. Inside, police didn't find any terrified roommates. Instead, they stumbled across the standard Florida starter pack, a collection of drugs, weapons, and cash. But just some of what they found inside the Barzaga home. That's just some of it.
Bazinga!
3 firearms, $85,000, 22 pounds of psilocybin mushrooms, 3 pounds of marijuana, 12 marijuana plants, 4 chairs that used to be at the end of Nick's driveway, 17 grams of ketamine, 5 pounds of marijuana edibles, drug ledgers, and other drug paraphernalia. While he was initially arrested for armed burglary of an occupied dwelling and criminal mischief, additional charges are pending due to what deputies found inside.
This guy was just ripped out of his mind.
He had to have been, right? You're not on weed for that, right? You're on...
Likely no.
Yeah, no. You're on some hard stuff.
A Tennessee man suspected of vandalizing a Metro Nashville police safety camera has been arrested because his image was captured quite clearly on a Metro Nashville police safety camera. The 30-year-old vandal was arrested Friday afternoon after launching a one-man demolition derby against a safety camera at a local recreation area April 16th. Unfortunately for him, his handiwork, caught in crystal clear high-definition humility, was courtesy of the camera he thought he could conquer. In addition to vandalism charges, he's also facing charges for resisting arrest and aggravated assault on a police officer. As fate and his poor grasp of surveillance technology would have it, the very video meant to protect the public also perfectly captured his face, his car, and his career in criminal incompetence, leading officers straight to his doorstep.
Well, he's just getting started, this guy.
Yeah, I didn't consider that maybe that camera was going to have a way to record it.
Sounds like the work of a first-timer.
Mm-hmm. He'll get better.
Mm-hmm.
A 7-year-old Florida boy took a family car and a 5-year-old sidekick on a Sunday morning spin, spanning about 10 miles. Police got a heads up about 8 a.m. about a suspiciously small speedster weaving through traffic. The concerned caller noted a pint-sized person behind the wheel who appeared, quote, alarmingly adolescent. Authorities reported the boy had borrowed the family vehicle without parental permission. And when officers attempted a traffic stop, the youthful chauffeur decided to keep calm and carry on illegally, realizing they were dealing with a very young driver and wanting to avoid making a dangerous situation even worse. Officers backed off and ended the chase. The tiny traveler's journey came to a screeching halt when the vehicle met its match, a parking strip.
Now, we're told that there was minor damage to the car, but miraculously, no one was injured. Both the kids are fine. Now, details are limited at this point, but we do know the kids' mom took them home, and they are safe after a pretty interesting morning.
Fortunately, the children were found nearby, no worse for the wear, likely facing a timeout of biblical proportions, however. Police said no charges are being filed because of their ages.
Yeah, it was a good bonding moment for those kids.
How old were they?
7 and 5.
Just going to grab some candy, some toys or something.
I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
10 miles, he made it.
It's like the Waltrip, like a story of the Waltrip brothers or something like that.
The next 3 episodes of Andor arrive on Disney Plus today, 4, 5, and 6. On NBC, the first season finale of St. Denis Medical. Jimmy Fallon as Jeremy Renner, Jimmy Kimmel as Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Will Ferrell on Stephen Colbert, and Seth Meyers has Tina Fey. Stop by your local Culver's Monday, May 12th, when participating Minnesota and Wisconsin locations are donating 10% of all sales to the Randy Shaver Cancer Research and Community Fund. Culver's, Randy's favorite fast food, will continue rounding up sales through May 25th. For a full list of participating Culver's 10% Day of Giving locations, you can check out 93x.com. Uma Thurman, 55 today. Eve Plum, Jan on the Brady Bunch, 67. Daniel Day-Lewis, 68. Jerry Seinfeld, 71. And Willie Nelson, 92.
God dang.
Best of luck to Vertically Challenged Jesus starting her new job today. Have a great one. Barsaw Jesus wants to give a shout-out to Bart Tattoo Jesus, who recently finished building a fence at his house, and the wind from the storm destroyed it last night.
No, I'm so sorry.
Happy 25th to Melissa. Happy 50th to Sonia from Zamboni Jesus. Happy birthday to Taja, turning 23 today, from Hillman Welder Jesus. And happy birthday to referee Rob Page from your Mark friends here at 93X. And that's 93X News.
And now a Minnesota Twins update. We're talking Twins with former All-Star closer, Glen Perkins.
Glen Perkins.
On 93X. Play ball!
This is poked to center field. Jones won't get it. Not a chance. That's going to find the wall, and 2 more runs are going to score. Buxton in. Larnach heading home. He will score standing. And Ty France drives in 2 more to make it 8-1.
Hello, Randy Shaver.
Hello.
You goofy bastard. How you doing this morning?
Just perfect.
Along with Randy, our next guest, he told us that business would pick up for the Twins, and here they are, fresh off delivering a terrible beating to the Cleveland Guardians. Glen Perkins joins us to talk about the Twins. Brought to you by Xfinity. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity. What's up, Glenn?
Good morning, guys. I don't want to take any credit for this. I think it was just like some things had to go their way.
You're so humble.
But I, at the same time, I'll give them credit for continuing like grinding it out, because I'm sure those guys were frustrated, and they got an opportunity to play against 2 teams that are in last place in their division, 2 teams that are not very good. But at the same time, they went out and they did it.
Yes.
And they went out and they did exactly what they should have done.
Right.
They won 5 out of 6 at home, and it's got them with a different vibe in that clubhouse. And then they went down to Cleveland, where they lost 6 out of 7 last year, and they smoked them. So yeah. You give them all the credit in the world, because they've stuck with it and continue to work and continue to keep a positive attitude, and they're getting to reap some of the benefits now, and they're climbing back into it.
Stick-to-itedness. I think I've heard that word before.
Yeah, that's a couple of words put together, I think.
Randy Shaver knows nothing about. Randy Shaver doesn't know about stick-to-itedness because he retired.
Well, what does that mean?
Quitter.
Oh, my God.
Could have stuck around a little longer.
What? Wait till you get to be my age. You'll love being a quitter. Trust me.
You are older than the hills. I'll give you that. Last night was impressive. So she was an 11-1 final from Cleveland. 17 hits put on the board. 10 players had at least 1 hit. 6 players had at least 2 hits. Jonah Bride had 3 of them.
Yeah.
Kid that came over in a deal with, I believe, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
He was from the Marlins.
Miami Marlins, sorry.
Yeah.
The Twins were 8 for 14 with runners in scoring position, and now suddenly with the Anaheim and Chicago series bundled into this, they've won 4 straight, 6 out of the last 7. Bailey Ober, 7.
He was great.
7 2/3 innings. You never see that anymore these days.
Yeah, he was great last night.
So
Bailey's got a way about getting through the Cleveland lineup. He's done that his entire career.
Why do you think that is?
Well, Corey and I were talking about something similar on the broadcast, I think over the weekend, where we were talking about how there's guys that just own certain teams. Carlos Correa owns the Angels. His lifetime numbers against the Angels are nuts. Byron Buxton's lifetime numbers against the White Sox are nuts. This is Bailey Ober's team. There's something with the way that it probably goes back to like early in his career. He had a good start against them, and then he gained confidence. And then when he goes there and he's on that mound, he feels unhittable.
Who was the team that feared Glen Perkins?
I would say that I probably got the most saves against either the Royals or the Tigers.
Okay. All right.
That would be my guess.
All right.
Was there one place, Glenn, where you just absolutely loved to pitch? Like you just said, Bailey loves to pitch in Cleveland. Was there one place where you felt unhittable?
Ooh, was it at the State Fair where you get a free hat if you can guess the speed correctly? I love that spot.
There was a couple. I liked the Metrodome a lot. I really like that mound. I always thought that mound was taller than the rest because they lowered it into the field to play football. And so when they would raise it up, it felt taller. Seattle felt tall to me, and then Toronto was the other one.
Cool.
There's something about just certain mounds you get on, and it's what the backdrop looks like. It's how tall the mound feels, what the mound is made out of. Cleveland's a good mound too. I mean, I think I probably had some decent success in Cleveland as well. And close backstop, so then it makes you feel like you're closer to home plate. Those are those kind of things. I mean, and it's funny, like with Bailey, like this is a completely different Cleveland team than he faced last year or the year before.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not the guys in the lineup. It's something in his head that gives him more confidence, some visual that he likes when he goes down to Cleveland.
So the opposite of that, what would you say for you was the opposite? Place you
Oakland was the worst. Oakland felt like I was throwing uphill. And that one, I think that if the mound felt lower, and then that had the most follow ground of any park, and so you felt like you were out in the middle of nowhere, and home plate looked like it was 100 feet away.
You felt lonely out there.
Yeah. It was like playing baseball in the middle of a 40-acre field. And so I didn't like that one, and I didn't like Fenway. That was the other one.
Too close?
Why?
No, Fenway felt like the wall behind you was going to fall on you. Like you felt like you were pitching in a silo. And then that mound also felt low.
So one place was a little too big, one place was a little too tight for you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Now,
the extremes.
But pitching at the old Oakland ballpark, there must have been some level of comfort there knowing that 8 out of 10 pop-ups are going to be in play. You know what I mean? Like you said, the foul ground was massive. You must have had some confidence that if I can get these guys to pop it up, it's likely going to stay in play.
The problem was that I felt like I was playing long toss to get the ball to home plate.
Okay, sure.
And so I didn't pitch there much. I pitched there. I mean, we only went there once a year, right. And so I didn't pitch there a ton, and I'm okay with that.
We mentioned, of course, Bailey Ober had a great night last night, and now he's won a couple 3 in a row. How tall is Bailey Ober?
I think he's 6'9".
Okay. I just saw. How tall of a guy are you, Glen Perkins?
I'm 6 feet.
Okay. You
5'11" if you ask my kids.
Kids are mean.
You look much taller on television. You do.
Television adds, it adds height and weight, right?
Randy always looked a little heavy. Yeah.
That was a question for you, Randy.
What's that?
That was a question for you. TV adds height and weight.
It does add weight, yes.
Yeah.
I was standing on a mound. That's why every person that I meet in person says, you look way taller on TV.
Yeah, you do.
It's the Minnesota nice way of saying you're kind of small.
I saw a video yesterday of a college baseball player, a pitcher for the University of Oregon. The kid is 6'11".
Yeah.
Which I don't think should be allowed. I think there should be a rule at all levels of baseball. If you're taller than 6'5", they should take the glove off your hand, hand you a basketball, and throw you out of the ballpark. This kid is named Jason Reitz, 6'11", college baseball. He looks ridiculous out there.
I wonder, is he any good? That was like when I saw that yesterday. I was like, I wonder if this guy's any good, and then I didn't have the desire to look it up.
Okay, it's funny, Glen Perkins. I kind of scanned over his statistics. I did see that he's getting interest from scouts because, I mean, of course, he's a giant, and the potential, I'm sure, is there because of his size that scouts are going to be interested, clubs are going to be. But I didn't really see how well he was doing.
It's a huge advantage for Bailey Ober. He's unlike any other pitcher in the game. When he throws the ball, it's coming from a different spot. It's coming from closer to home plate. It's got to be intimidating to have to face him. I mean, he's got to look like he's 7.5 feet tall when he's on the mound.
Is that taller than Randy Johnson?
I think he's 6'9".
I want to say Randy was 6'10".
Okay. Yeah, in all the four big sports, the athletes just keep getting bigger and bigger. A little bit later, we're going to talk about hockey, of course, with the Pigs playing tonight at Vegas. Look at the size of goaltenders now compared to 30 years ago.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, goaltenders, the net looks like a shinny net behind them.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I'm trying to think, who was the biggest goaltender?
The pads have gotten bigger too.
Pads have gotten bigger.
The players have gotten the goalies have gotten bigger. Everybody gets bigger. I mean, Carlos Correa is 6'4" playing shortstop. Like shortstops, even when I played, were little dudes that could run around fast.
Right.
There was A-Rod, and then there was a bunch of little dudes that could run.
Yeah, you're right. Look at that Eckstein kid. I mean, maybe he was a second baseman, but was it David Eckstein?
Yeah, there's and there more shortstops than not were my size. They were 6 feet tall,
right?
And they could run fast. Like that was. And then A-Rod came along, and now they're all huge.
In all the major sports, the athletes just keep getting bigger and bigger. Now, you have to be a total hockey nerd maybe to even know who I'm talking about. But when I was growing up, I thought that Sean Burke, who was a goaltender for the Hartford Whalers, looked somewhat ridiculous out there, and I bet he was 6'2" or something. But now these guys are
6'4", it says.
Sean Burke?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he looked odd out there because most of the goalies were Ed Belfour, Mike Vernon, these short little John Casey for the North Stars.
Yeah.
There's no way that guy was 5'10". But now, anyway, so here's this what did I say? He was 6'11" pitcher for the Oregon Ducks. They're all headed in that day. Chris Osgood for the Detroit Red Wings, a listener texted in. I guess, no, George, the friendliest listener that we have, Josh, George.
He's such a nice guy.
Ken Dryden was an extraordinarily tall goaltender for his era. Absolutely. Good point, George, and thank you for always being so friendly. What else are we going to go along with here with Glen Perkins? Something we weren't able to talk about yesterday, I think, because we were talking so much about the Timberwolves and the Wild. Eugenio, I'm sorry if I'm getting this wrong, Suarez of the Arizona Diamondbacks over the weekend, he put up a 4-home-run game.
Saw that.
You ever been a witness to something, a 3-home-run game at the ballpark, Glenn?
Kepler, actually in Cleveland. Max Kepler used to hit homers that felt like every time he batted in Cleveland.
Usually off that Bauer character.
Trevor Bauer, yeah.
Yeah. Did Kep have 3 in a game once?
I feel like he had to.
Yeah, it sounds right to me.
Did Morneau do it in Chicago one time?
Yeah. I believe you're correct about that against the White Sox, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I think that it's crazy. I think the last two 4-homer games were Diamondbacks.
Were they?
In Arizona, yeah.
Okay, J.D. Martinez did it for the Diamondbacks in 2017. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Suarez.
That's crazy. I can't imagine like the pressure. The like you hit 2. Like guys hit 2 not all the time, but not infrequently, and then you hit 3, and then that at-bat's got to be like, I have to hit a home run or I'm a failure.
It says here that Kepler did have 2 career 3-homer games. Both came against the Indians.
There you go. Randy, did you have this Suarez kid going in your fantasy baseball team?
I actually picked him up on Monday.
Did you?
Yeah, but too late for
Yeah.
all that. But yeah, he's
and every other person that didn't have him on their roster.
Right.
No kidding. Yeah, I mean he's a home run guy. He's not an average guy. He's a power hitting guy. But
There have only been 18 4-home run games in all of big league history, and the Suarez kid made it 19. And he did his 4th home run was in the 9th inning to tie the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he even had that added pressure in there.
More pressure, yeah.
And got it done. Other notable 4-dongers, Carlos Delgado, Mike Schmidt, Willie Mays, Lou Gehrig.
Was Dave Kingman in that group?
They only mentioned big-timers. Maybe this article didn't consider Dave Kingman a big-time enough name to throw into the article. But
the anniversary of, was it Fernando? No, who was the guy? There was the guy that hit 2 homers, 2 grand slams in 1 inning. That anniversary was just the other day.
I couldn't tell you that one.
It wasn't Fernando Tatis.
Someone would have to look that up. 2 grand slams in 1 game.
In 1 inning.
In 1 inning.
Off the same pitcher.
Christ.
That would suck.
Was that a spring training game? Come on.
Was it a father-son game?
It was Fernando Tatis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you really got this down, don't you, Glenn?
Well, so I'm cheating. We get every day. Major League Baseball sends us like a big stat pack, and so it has information on every game, and then it has information on just like general Major League Baseball milestones and different things that are about to happen throughout the league. So then when we're on TV or on the radio, we sound smart.
Fair enough.
Somebody spends all night compiling this research and then emails it to us, and then we get to say it on air as if it's things that we know.
Some college kid jacking down Red Bull till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Sends Glenn a big booklet. The very first big leaguer to hit 4 home runs in a game was way back in 1894. A guy by the name of Bobby Lowe, who was playing for the Boston Bean Eaters.
Oh, that's a terrible name.
I'm disappointed that he doesn't have a nickname. I feel like every player from until 1920 had a good nickname.
Yeah, they did. You did. They were all Slappy and fat back and big butt, all that. Yeah. We played for the Bean Eaters.
Right. That's enough.
I'd like to see their logo. The Colorado Rockies are now off to the worst start in modern National League history, and that means you go back to 1901. The Colorado Rockies are off to the worst start in modern National League history. They lost to the Braves last night, so they are 4-24.
I think they're worse than the White Sox were last year.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds correct. That's
hard to do.
They are on that pace right now. Yeah.
They, their current pace is worse than last year's Chicago White Sox, who established the new big league record with a final of 41 wins and 121 losses. It sucks to be the Colorado.
There was this old phrase that every team wins 50 games, every team loses 50 games, and then your season is made in what you do in the other 62.
Uh-huh.
And the White Sox last year forgot about the other 62. I was tracking that one, wondering if they were going to win 40 games. And I think they got hot at the end of the season. I think they won something like 4 out of their last 8 to get to 41 wins. But that Rockies team, boy.
What do you think?
I wouldn't want to cover that team.
No, man.
What do you think the reason is that they're so bad? Because they've had some young talent there for a while.
They're in a different boat than the White Sox. I mean, the White Sox just tore everything apart and didn't have.
They did it on purpose.
They were a minor league baseball team playing in the big leagues. There's probably some of that with the Rockies. They do have. I mean, they signed Kyle Farmer. They have Chris Bryant. They have a couple decent pitchers. But it's any streak that you go on is if you're playing poorly, there's probably some bad luck involved, and if you're playing really well, there's some really good luck involved.
And one of the things for them is they're not playing in the division the White Sox are playing in. They've got to play the Giants, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, they have probably three. I think that the Padres, the Giants, the Dodgers. The Padres and the Dodgers for sure are two of the most, 3, 4, 5 talented teams in baseball. And then the Giants are off to an unbelievable start. But yeah, very competitive, much more competitive division, I think, than the AL Central, and much more teams that spend a heck of a lot more money, for sure.
Before we let you go, Glen Perkins, I wanted to get your take on this. Last Friday, the Washington Nationals scheduled a Bring Your Dog to the Ballpark game. On the same night, they scheduled the post-game fireworks.
Oh, my God.
No.
They did. Now, what happened was at the ass end of the ball game, they put a big picture up on the big screen. It's kind of a funny picture. It's got a picture of a very frightened-looking dog, and it basically warned folks. It says, we're also doing fireworks tonight. You got 20 minutes to get your dog out of here.
Oh, my gosh. They need to spread those out. That's how they get fans to come to the ballpark.
Yeah. Are you a dog owner, Glenn?
Yeah, we do have a dog.
You want to talk about your dog at all? You can tell us its name or anything.
His name is Raymond. He is what is he? He's a Bernie Doodle. So half
big guy
Bernese.
then.
Yeah, he's not like a big one.
Okay.
He's like 40 pounds, 35 or 40 pounds.
Perfect.
A Bernie Doodle, and his name is Raymond.
Yep.
Oh, man, those things are cute.
Can we send you any treats or anything? Will you send over a little gift pack for Raymond?
You can. He loves treats. He's very treat motivated.
Okay. Well, here's the fun part of this story of the Washington Nationals scheduling Bring Your Dog to the Ballpark night on the same night they had fireworks. One person said 20 minutes was not enough time to get the hell out of the stadium.
Yeah, you're in earshot.
And their dog freaked out. Another person saw a scared dog slip its harness and run into traffic.
Oh, no.
And it almost got hit by a car. Almost, but they got him back.
Yeah, some dogs are next level.
The dogs don't want to go to the baseball field at all. And they certainly don't want to hear fireworks.
Just picturing a dog there with the scorebook in front of him, keeping track of the game.
You don't think that Raymond would enjoy sitting at the park with you for a ball game?
No. We this was probably 10-ish years ago. We used to do Sundays were family days, and so you could bring your kids and go hit balls on the field and play catch and do all these fun things. And we brought we had a different dog, a Yorkie Doodle, what was he? A Golden Doodle.
Typical dad. You have no idea.
No, he was a dog.
Well, he decided that it was time to go to the bathroom when he was out there running around, and so he took a big old poop on by first base.
Oh,
yeah! And they had back then they had a camera guy that would just shoot kids and people on the field and put it up on the Jumbotron on the big screens up there. And the camera guy happened to get that dog's name was Harry. And Harry, he got him pooping on the field.
High definition.
That's great.
High def, too.
That was the one time I brought our dog to the field. He took a crap on it.
So. Well, the Vikings do that every year. Not a big deal. No, I hear you. Some dogs like that experience. Others do not. That's funny, though, that Harry got on the big screen for cutting one for everybody.
He did. He was, yep.
We got to get going. I know you got to get going, too. Yeah, that's all right. Hey, thank you very much, Glenn. What are you doing, radio tonight?
I'm off this road trip.
Okay, you're off the road trip. You'll be watching like the rest of us.
I'm just watching.
Appreciate your time. What'd you say?
All right, we'll talk to you guys next week.
What were you going to say? You were saying something, Glenn.
I said I'm a spectator, just like everybody else. I'll be watching.
All right, fair enough. Thanks, buddy.
Yes. All right, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Our visit with Glen Perkins, brought to you by Xfinity. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity. There you go. How do you think your twin, what are those dogs you have again, Josh?
Great Danes.
How do you think they deal with a fireworks show?
Oh, they don't mind it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They don't mind the loud noises?
No.
That's good.
They're very chill.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do that bring your dog to the ballpark thing, but I don't think any of them would enjoy it, like Glenn was saying. It's just too many people that they don't know.
Too antsy?
Yeah, too many smells.
And they wouldn't know the difference between going to a major league game or just going down to the park in the neighborhood.
Yeah, they don't care. That's true.
I had that friggin' dachshund for nearly 2 decades, and he was typical German, kind of tough, aggressive, fearless, and I had him sitting in my lap one Independence Day. Neighbors across the street were running their own fireworks show, and I was wondering, while I was holding this dog, how he was going to react to it. I thought, of course, I assumed he would be afraid of it. But as soon as they started firing off the good stuff, this dog was furious at the fireworks and the people who were shooting them. He wanted to attack. And I thought that was pretty unique. So I'm holding on to this dog with all my strength to keep him from jumping off my lap. Well, I think I reached for my beer, and he cut loose from me. And he makes a dead sprint towards this neighbor's property who's firing off the fireworks. And I'm right behind him, chasing him. I don't want him to get hit by a car. Right as he's approaching the neighbor's property, one of these real-deal fireworks gets a little squirrely and hits the dog right in the chest.
Oh, my gosh.
And the sumbitch is on fire.
Oh, my God.
And he's still running forward.
Oh, my God.
Didn't slow him down a bit. He's just foaming at the mouth to kill these fireworks, and I had to tackle him in the street. But he was willing to go in first.
He thought they were attacking him.
I don't know what he was thinking, but his chest was on fire. I never thought I'd have to do that. I'm patting a fire out on my dog's chest. He never blinked.
Oh, that's cute, though.
A dog on fire is cute.
Dog on fire. Randy Shaver, tonight will likely go a long way in determining the fate of the man-bear pigs.
Oh, for sure.
Don't they usually? They call Game 5s in a tie series. They call it pivotal.
For sure.
So it'll be pigs and the silly Las Vegas Golden Knights. Oh, around 8:30, 8:45, 9:10. Whenever they get around to it, they'll drop the puck on this pig. She's the best 2 out of 3 now. Best 2 out of 3. And I read that old Gene Snitsky, the head coach, might be tweaking the blue line a little bit. He did not use that rookie defenseman Zeev Buyum in overtime of Game 4. And it looks like maybe he'll stick with the veterans.
Yeah.
It looks like possibly John Merrill will take Buyum's place tonight.
So he's not even going to dress.
That's what it sounds like to me, Randy Shaver.
That kind of makes some sense, I think. I mean, your season's on the line. This kid is absolutely brand new. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of pressure on that kid, too. It makes sense.
He did take a penalty, a 4-minute penalty in the third period of that game on Saturday where they lost in overtime. At any rate, you go with the Graybeards, at least for tonight. The Florida Panthers are up 3-1 on Tampa Bay. Florida wins last night 4-2. Dallas up 3-2 on Colorado. Dallas had a big win last night. Tonight, Toronto can end Ottawa's season with a win. New Jersey is also on the brink of elimination at Carolina tonight. Edmonton and L.A., Game 5. They're tied 2 wins apiece. In the NBA, Cleveland swept Miami, and the Cavaliers won by 55 points.
Yep. It's like what Brad said about best of 5.
Right.
Those number 1 seeds probably should have played just the best of 5.
But still, like we talked about when it happened to Memphis, there's absolutely no excuse to lose by 52, 3, 4, 5 points. They should. Yeah. Everyone on the coaching staff and every player should be fired when you lose by 55 points, especially in the playoffs. Everybody's gone. Yeah. Golden State beat Houston, so the miserable Warriors are up 3-1 in that series. The Pacers can rid themselves of the Bucks tonight with a win. The Celtics and Knicks can do the same with a win. Denver and the LA Clippers play tonight at a 2-2 series tie. Draymond Green, I'm so tired of his nonsense.
Yeah, well, get used to it because that'll be round 2 for the Timberwolves.
Watch this play. So he gets his steal. Watch Draymond grabs the jersey and rolls over onto his face. He might be, if they look at this, I think he should be gone.
Same bit over and over again. He's a giant child, and he got in a scrap with a dude last night, and he may or may not have intentionally kicked the dude in the head. And again, with the preferential treatment for certain players. Green had already been called for a technical foul earlier in the game, so had he been called for a second one, he would have been ejected. But weird that the officials only gave him a flagrant foul rather than a second technical foul in the playoffs playing on national television for the Golden State Warriors. Weird how that worked out. Jimmy Butler of the Golden State Warriors and Dylan Brooks of the Houston Rockets were being unpleasant with each other during last night's ball game. Holler at me if you care.
Look at this. Oh, my goodness. I'm loving it. Well, whatever he said, you got Brooks and stitches.
How do you root for either one of those guys in that situation?
Brooks is such an instigator. He's like Draymond Green, but maybe just a slight level below Green.
With less penis punching.
Yes.
He is.
He's an instigator.
Yes,
man.
he is a lot like Draymond Green without the penis punching and kicking.
Yeah. He's more trying to get into your head than he is physically pushing you around.
Right. All right, Randy Shaver, are you familiar with a sports personality by the name of Bill Simmons?
Sure.
Okay. I'm not familiar, but he's got some kind of an internet show.
Yep.
Started out at ESPN back in the day as the sports guy, launched a couple of his own sports websites, and now is one of the most popular podcasts in the world.
In the world?
Oh, yeah.
He's a basketball guy.
My God. He dumped an interesting analogy out there for all of us. He said that hating Stephon Curry is like hating BJ's.
For those that hate it, fine. I mean, it just sucks because you're missing out on a
it's
guy.
Like hating blowjobs. How do you hate Steph Curry? It's ridiculous.
What do you think about that, Randy?
I'm not commenting on that.
What are you talking about?
I don't hate Steph Curry. Let's put it
I
that
do.
way.
I do. And I have a list of why I hate Steph Curry.
Why do you hate Steph Curry?
First off, it's just good old-fashioned burnout.
Okay. Well,
now just hang on. Let me give you my reasons.
That's a credit to his success.
Let me just give you my reasons for hating Steph Curry. I didn't lead this off by saying these are all, legitimate and completely fair in any way. I'm just giving you the reasons why I hate Steph Curry. I'm sure there are holes and flaws in here all over the place. But first, it's just burnout. I've had enough of the Golden State Warriors, and I had enough of them quite a few years ago. It's also a case of hate by association. Anyone who was friendly with Draymond Green is an instant enemy of mine. I also hate his forced, I'm so relaxed out there that I left my mouth guard hang all the way out of my mouth routine. Trust me, that's by design. I hate that.
I noticed that last year for the first time, and
It's by
ticked
design.
me off. It really did start to tick me off.
And I hate that he's called the best shooter of all time because he and other three-point shooters like him, like we've discussed many times, they're allowed to do things with their feet that thousands of other jump shooters were not allowed to do in their day because back then it was called traveling. Michael Jordan, Jerry West, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Julius Erving, Reggie Miller, Clyde Drexler, Byron Scott, John Stockton, they were not allowed to do with their feet what Steph Curry and others like him are allowed to do. So that's my reasoning for hating Steph Curry.
Okay.
But it is
all the guys that you just mentioned in that
yes
about shooting.
Yeah.
They can't shoot. They were not better shooters than Steph Curry.
That's because they weren't allowed to jump 5 feet.
That's not true.
They weren't
That's
allowed to
not
jump
true.
5 feet to
That's
the left,
not
right,
true.
or backwards to take their shot.
That's not true.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
not true.
It certainly is a funny analogy, though.
Well, it's not true.
Have I given you enough time to comment yet on that analogy?
He said he wasn't going there.
You're not going to talk at all about
No, I'm not
Steph
going
Curry
there.
versus
No.
BJ's?
I told you I like Steph Curry.
You know, I've noticed that there's a lot less Steph Curry in my house since we got married.
Oh! It's only natural, Josh.
I don't remember the last time
my gosh.
Steph Curry was even talked about.
It's a damn shame.
Maybe you should bring it up.
That's a good idea.
That's never a good idea.
You know, honey, I could go to a bar and see some Steph Curry, but I choose to watch basketball at home.
It's uncomfortable to just up and bring up Steph Curry with your wife in the room.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I mean, like maybe on my birthday or anniversary, I could say, how about a little Steph Curry?
Yep. How about a little Stefan tonight?
Oh, my God.
What if she just sent you some links to some Steph Curry videos?
That'll never happen.
That is a fun analogy, though. Hating Stefan Curry is like hating BJ's.
Oh, my God.
Apparently, this Bill Simmons guy also said, now this I agree with. He said, what did he say? When NFL players drop the football at the goal line, and leave it behind, and
Before they score, you mean?
It's a touch. Yes, right as they're crossing the goal line. I think this is what he meant. When a football player, NFL player, F's up at the goal line and drops the ball too soon, and it's ruled a touchback or a safety or whatever it is. He said that is like having, as a fan, that's like having an orgasm. I really enjoy when the guys, they're so worried about getting into their disco dance or whatever that they screw up and fumble before they cross the plane. I will agree that that's similar to that feels good to watch that. I don't understand this. Shaquille O'Neal just took an unpaid job as Sacramento State University's general manager, whatever that means.
That was very weird.
Well, that's where we are right now in college sports. You're basically, it's like what Belichick is doing at North Carolina. You treat it like an NFL team. You treat it like a professional team. And a lot of these colleges are doing that. They are treating these things because of the NIL, because of being paid. They're treating their sports like that as professional teams because that's really what you are now.
Okay, but it's an unpaid job. Okay, here's the connection. Mike Bibby, a former NBA player, who I'm sure is one of Shaq's bros, is now the coach at Sacramento State University's basketball program. And one of Shaquille O'Neal's sons, Shakir, has committed to play there.
Okay.
But this gig, this is what's so weird about it. This gig must not be too demanding because other NBA guys have recently taken similar roles. The aforementioned disgusting Stephen Curry is the general manager of Davidson's basketball team. Right. Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks is the general manager of the University of Oklahoma's basketball team. Terrence Mann, who now plays for the Philadelphia 76ers maybe, is the general manager for Florida State. So is this just kind of like they'll show up at a few parties? Or
yeah, I think it's kind of like it's...
show up at the holiday parties.
This is my take. I think it's kind of like a...
ambassador?
Not necessarily, yeah.
There you go.
It's like, I am going to help you raise funds.
Okay.
I'm going to help you and use them in recruiting.
Okay.
Yeah, if you've got a kid in your living room and you can get Steph Curry or Shaq on FaceTime, I think that goes a long way.
There you
Exactly, yeah.
There you go. They'll show up on some Zoom meetings. They'll go to some holiday parties. They'll donate a little money.
And Shaq doesn't need the money. I mean, his kid's going to school there. He doesn't need the money. I mean, they're just, because of his friendship with Bibby, I think that's kind of where he's volunteered to help them. So,
Stan Love, the father of Kevin Love, has died at the age of 76.
Oh boy!
They say here that Stan battled a lengthy illness. He was a professional basketball player as well. Played at Oregon before the Baltimore Bullets drafted him in 1971. Stan played for a couple other clubs. And he's also, of course, the younger brother of Beach Boys singer Mike Love. And I was sad to hear that because I really like Kevin.
Yep.
And that's tough when the old man checks out.
Kevin Love did a lot when he was here. He was a good guy and played hard in unfortunate circumstances because we just weren't very good. But I mean, good guy, good player.
When was the last time?
And has had a long career. I mean, he's still on the Miami roster.
Yeah.
So, I mean, credit to him.
When's the last time you saw the Beach Boys in concert, Randy Shaver?
Never.
Mike Love still goes out there with the boys.
That's crazy.
And they get John Stamos up there behind the drums occasionally as well.
Yeah, John Stamos. Mike Love had a cool gig with the Beach Boys. While all the rest of them were singing those beautiful notes, he was just kind of the bow, 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 do-woppa, 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 shibbity-dop, dip-dip-dop. That was his thing. He was the bow, wow, wow guy. I still say Good Vibrations is one of the greatest songs ever created. Could you go anywhere with that, Randy Shaver, or would you want more BJ analogies?
No.
Good Vibrations.
Yeah.
One of the greatest songs.
That's a Steph Curry song.
What do you mean? Oh, I see.
So this got a text here. I saw this, Drumeo. I've mentioned this to you guys before, this YouTube channel. It's really cool. They'll have some drummers, usually really famous drummers, a lot of rock drummers. They'll play songs they've never heard before.
Okay.
So what they'll do is they'll play, for the audience, we're watching it, we hear the actual song. But for the drummer, they hear the song minus the drums, and then they have to do their take. They give them a couple opportunities to practice, and then they play it. And sometimes it's uncanny how dead on they are, and other times it's like that should have been the drums, right? It's a lot of fun. But John Stamos just did one of those Never Heard It videos for Papa Roach, Last Resort.
John Stamos sat down and drummed to a Papa Roach song that he had never heard before.
That he had never heard, yeah.
How'd he do?
Did well.
Did he?
Yeah.
Drumeo.
Drumeo. I think that's Drumeo. I think that's how they pronounce it. So I think you really like those videos, Nick.
It sounds fun. I also, God only knows what I'd be without you. The Beach Boys were just friggin' terrific. Okay, the Vikings know how to piss away a fun opportunity. Usually we have to wait until the regular season or playoffs to be disappointed by this team. But they signed a backup quarterback. It's not Karen Rodgers, ruining what would have certainly been a hell of a lot of fun for everybody in town. They signed Sam Howell, whoever that is.
They traded for him, yes.
Whatever.
Thank God.
Stupid.
I wanted the circus.
There's still time.
No, you don't want
Is there
the
still
circus.
time?
There's not time. There's no time.
Quarterbacks get injured all the time.
It's not happening.
How much time do I need for a quick Steph Curry?
Well, if it's been a while, not that long.
It depends who it is.
That's a good point. So now this Sam Howell guy will be the backup to completely unproven rookie J.J. McCarthy. Could have been such a riot. Had an opportunity to make something special out of this, and they blew it. Josh says there's still time.
It's not going to happen.
All right, another one of these. We can close you out with this, Randy Shaver. Another one of these. Don't take too big a hit now. Don't take too big of a hit.
I'm ready.
TheBigLead.com has busted out the most hated teams in sports. College teams are included, too, and soccer, which should never be included in anything.
No.
Okay? There's only 10. Why don't you give it a shot? Who are the 10 most hated teams in sports? Remember, they include soccer. I'm just going to give the soccer one away. Manchester United, because let's just get that out of the way, because it's not like we want to sit here for 10 minutes and try to have you come up with one soccer team.
Would you have guessed that, Dana?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. College teams included, who are the nine most hated teams in sports.
The Yankees.
Say what now? What'd she say?
Ashley said the Yankees.
Sure.
That's right.
The Celtics have to be in that group.
All right.
I would say the Dodgers.
Real easy, obvious.
The Dallas Cowboys.
That's right. Think college now. I'll help you out.
Yeah, probably Notre Dame.
No!
Oh, really?
No.
Maybe Notre Dame is not thought of the same way as they used to be back in the day.
Yeah, probably right. National title game this year.
Ohio State?
No, I was thinking basketball.
Oh, Duke.
Yeah, Duke.
Yeah, for sure.
Ohio State should be in there too, but they're not. It's only a top. It's only a top 9.
Okay.
You are missing.
Give Give me the sport.
An obvious NBA team. Very successful, obvious NBA
Lakers.
team. That's right, the Lakers.
Yeah.
Here's another hint. This is a college football club, and their head coach is a total puke bag, but you like the guy. Head coach, total puke bag, but you like the guy. Okay. Or maybe is he still the coach? Or did he retire?
I think he retired.
He retired?
Yeah,
Alabama. What's that guy's name?
Nick Saban.
Is he still coaching?
No, he
Okay.
retired.
He's on TV now.
And I love the guy. I think he's great.
Banging on a trash can.
The Astros.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll hate them until
Really,
the day I die.
Astros are even just that.
It's not over yet, Randy. We still hate the Astros.
Yep.
Okay.
Forever.
And there's only one you're missing. It's a National Football League team. Come on, it's obvious. Everybody hates their friggin' guts, and for good reason over the last.
Kansas City.
That's right.
How funny is that list, though? If you would have done that list 10 years ago,
Right.
you know, the Chiefs wouldn't be on there.
No, but a lot of these teams would be. The Lakers would be on there.
I'm surprised Golden State's not on
Me too, or the Green Bay Packers. If you do this 10 years ago, for sure the Lakers are on there, for sure Duke, for sure Alabama, Boston, Dallas, Yankees, and Dodgers. So it wouldn't be.
Those are universal. Yes.
Yeah. Randy, it's going to be a late one for everyone tonight watching that Pigs game. Have fun, man.
You bet.
And we'll
See
talk
you
to you tomorrow morning. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Programski.
We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.
NBA veteran Jim Jackson takes you on the court.
You get a chance to dig into my 14-year career in the NBA and also get the input from the people that will be joining. Charles Barkley.
I'm excited to be on your podcast, man. It's an honor.
Spike Lee, entrepreneur, filmmaker, Academy Award winner.
Knicks fans.
So, now you see, I got you. But also how sports brings life, passion, music, all of this together.
The Jim Jackson Show, part of the Rich Eisen Podcast Network. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, it's been a hell of a deal so far. Might as well try to finish strong here. Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 651-989-9393 is our text number. If you ever feel like getting a hold of us with some kind of a smart-ass comment, a couple of texts have rolled in. We were playing a little bit of the Beach Boys music during our conversation with Randy Shaver, and it prompted a text here from Wireless Real Estate Jesus, who said to me personally, he said, we have two things in common, a sincere appreciation and enjoyment of the Beach Boys, and we are both testicular torsion survivors.
It's a hell of a combo.
Weren't you also caught in that spot, Josh? Or am
I've had other issues in that area.
Yeah, testicular
Very
torsion.
painful issues, but yeah, not that.
Let me tell you. That was a tough one. But thank you for the text. And I'm glad to know that we have that in common, Wireless Real Estate Jesus. Another text message came in. What are they talking about here? Oh, back in your news report, Josh, you had a story of it. Was it an armored truck full of cash exploded?
Yeah.
And cash was flying through the air.
Everywhere you can think of.
And people were running. You've seen it before, I'm sure, on YouTube and whatnot. People were diving out of their moving motor vehicles to run after the cash floating through the air.
Correct.
Here's a text from 6 to Noon Jesus, who said if an armored truck dumped out hundreds of thousands of dollars, here's what he'd do. He said he'd cover himself in super glue and begin a mind-blowing death roll across the freeway.
Yeah, that he really wouldn't be stealing. It just so happened that it's sticking to him. What's he going to do?
I just happen to be performing this ridiculous suicidal stunt at the same time.
Which is the way.
Oh, all right. Here you go. Oh, here's a text message from a listener. Testicular torsion is not fun. No, I know. I went through it myself. I had it happen to me 4 years ago. They had to twist and then untwist.
Oh, they had to go one, like a gym locker lock. You got to go one way and then the other way.
It's a brilliant analogy.
Happened to my sister.
Kind of like when you get a bone broken. Huh? What?
She had the same thing happen, yeah. It was awful, she told me.
Testicular torsion.
A couple times.
It's kind of like I've been lucky. I've never broken my... well, that shouldn't ring a bell. I should knock on wood. I've never had a bone broken for me. I guess except for my nose. Beer league hockey, a guy broke my nose for me.
I had my big toe broke.
But I hear sometimes when you get those big limbs broken, sometimes the doctor has to re-break your arm and then set it again.
Yep.
Heard that with jaws as well.
Ouch.
Get your jaw broken for you. Here's a guy, again, testicular torsion. They had to twist it and then untwist it. All right. Do you have, any of yous, do you have any stories? This is how folks put it these days. Do you have any flexes from your childhood? A childhood flex. Now, all I can think of personally, and sadly, it's the same flexes that I have today, and they mean nothing. I can name any Kiss song within 1 second of hearing it. I can name jersey numbers off of athletes. You give me their name, I'll give you their jersey number. Now, unfortunately, since we're talking about childhood, it still applies to today. I specialize in the 70s and 80s and 90s. I would be horrible these days with professional athletes. But in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you could name me any Viking, Twin, Timberwolf, or who am I missing?
North Stars?
Yeah, North Star, Wild even. Yeah, any of those clubs I could tell. But nowadays with the modern players, I'm not as tuned in as I used to be. So sadly, my childhood flexes are the same as my adult flexes, and they mean nothing. Childhood flexes. Josh, I know when you were a child, you were a big eater.
Yep, definitely. I could eat a lot. Sometimes I'll surprise people with my McDonald's order. You
could win bets back when you were a kid. You could take dares when it came to eating.
Yeah, I was real good at it. My stepdaughter said over the weekend she wants to do the 999, or whatever they call it with the twins.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
9 hot dogs, 9 beers over 9 innings. Now, she admits 9 beers probably couldn't do.
Yeah.
But she thinks she could eat 9 hot dogs, and I don't think so. I've seen big eaters like our old pal Ross. Remember, we were very disappointed because he's
just for the record, he was never my pal.
Oh, I thought you enjoyed his company.
I did not.
Never once?
No. But I remember where you're going with this.
I thought all that hate was fake. It was legit.
No, it was legitimate hate.
It was real hate.
Yes.
You're a good actor. So he said, hey, I'm going to eat all these hot dogs for this hot dog eating contest, before lawyers got involved. And I think he got through what, like 4?
Yeah.
5? It was... It was a pit.
It was a disgrace.
That wasn't the only time that happened. It also happened with the White Castle Crave case. He thought he could wipe out a whole Crave case to himself, and I think he only got through like 10 or 12 of them.
Well, I don't recall that. I recall the hot dog incident. He embarrassed himself.
Because I don't know if I could do 9 hot dogs, and I'm a way bigger eater than she is.
That's a lot, and the bread is what gets you.
I want to try.
Here's what you should do with this is your stepdaughter?
Yeah.
Forget the beer. Just take her to a ball game and see if she can do the wieners. Just let her drink pop or water or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, we could just buy the 9 hot. It's expensive no matter what, right?
Dollar dog.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. How much would 9 hot dogs be?
I think like $10.99.
Yeah.
What if I want to bring 2 of my friends? That way, if you just do with pop or water, that way, less chance that you get vomited on the way home.
Oh, yeah,
that's
good
smart.
point. She has a vomit phobia, so maybe she'd change her mind on that. Even just the food.
Any of the rest of you?
I was a really good reader when I was a kid.
A good reader?
Yeah, there was a special, little club you can be in for having a high, it was called a Lexile score, or your Lexile range, and you were a part of this cool club that could read, the more difficult books. You were allowed to rent those out from the library, and I was a part of that. I thought that was pretty cool.
You were in the Good Readers Club.
Yeah. Another one I can think of is that I think I was in the 9th grade. So I was a freshman in high school, and I wasn't doing well in math, and so I decided I should probably pay attention. And I ended up getting student of the trimester for math class.
Whoa.
Because I got my grade up like so quickly. And
Okay, so you were arithmetic student of the week.
yeah, and I got a special breakfast in the morning where you bring your parents to, and yeah, my parents were super proud of me.
I got a weird flex I just thought of.
Yeah.
I had garnered a reputation as someone who could very convincingly pretend to hit my head on door frames. I would do it all the time by kicking the bottom and then holding my head like, geez, what a dummy. I hit my head on the door frame.
So you were
and I would do it by request all the time.
You were kind of, how should I say this? Like comedy relief, comic relief.
That was kind of something I got pretty good at.
That was your thing.
I practiced.
Oh, God. Okay, now that we're talking about these things, I suppose there were a couple, when I was real young, there were a couple of times I wrote a story in class, and it was the best in class, and it was posted on the hallway, walls of the hallway. Now that we're thinking about these, I didn't think about school.
That's all I got.
The perf printer, Jesus.
I was ninth grade president, I guess, for a few weeks. The 5 goals I scored against Minnetonka in 1986, I guess I could go in those directions.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've worked together now for over 4 years. Did you guys realize that every single workday you get to come in and work with somebody who has multiple track and field records at Thomas Lake Elementary School?
Who?
Me!
Get out of town.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
It was like I had won like a 400-meter dash in the long jump or something like that, and I'm guessing they've been broken since.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I see you just sent me all the awards. Each one says participation award. What's that event?
Thanks for showing up, kiddo.
What's that event? Somebody want to know if I could eat 8 cheeseburgers from McDonald's. I bet I could. Those aren't very big.
Those are tiny, yeah.
They've gotten smaller.
Yeah.
651-989-9393 if you'd like to share a flex from your childhood. And I'm sorry if you don't understand that verbiage. I struggle with it as well. Brag about something you accomplished as a kid. Nowadays they say flex. Well, here's something that kind of reminds me of you, Josh. A strange flex from somebody's childhood. They claim they memorized every commercial jingle from Saturday morning cartoons and treated them like top 40 hits.
I love jingles. I love it, and I love that it seems they're coming back to radio commercials. Absolutely love jingles. You hear more and more of them. My stepdaughter, again, she is the best at it. She can sing any jingle. Doesn't matter the era, anything. She loves them, too. I'd buy a CD with nothing but... Do you know what a CD is, Ashley?
Yeah.
I would stream nothing but jingles.
See, that would drive me insane.
You don't like them?
I mean, I like some, but there's no way I could sit and listen to them all day. I believe that's like the soundtrack to a serial killer type of a thing. I like some of them, don't get me wrong, but most of them, I don't even notice them, where you're really drawn to them. Here's an individual who could climb to the top of any McDonald's play place faster than any other kid, even the ones who were older.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That was a big deal.
Yeah,
I remember that.
When you reached the top, that kind of meant you were running things.
Yep.
Controller Jesus was the first girl in her grade to have to wear a bra, 3rd grade.
I'm so sorry. That probably sucked at the moment.
First girl in her grade that had to wear a bra?
God, that was the worst. I try to block those memories
because of the treatment the boys gave you?
Yep. Even my dad called it out because you wear a training bra first and you don't really realize
What's
you don't
the
want
difference?
I guess the padding, I believe, and kind of the shape. So training bras are more like sports bras, so you don't have to deal with the clips and all that.
Okay.
And I remember I didn't really fully grasp that you could see them through shirts.
Sure.
And so I was wearing like a lime green shirt, my first day ever wearing a training bra. And my dad just goes, "Oh, what do you got on under your shirt? What's that, Ashley?" It ruined my day.
I got another woman living in the house, huh?
I remember I just started bawling.
Oh, no.
He's like, "What did I do? What?"
So you were one of the first in your grade then?
Yeah. My mom wanted to get on top of things. She wanted to make sure that I wasn't poking out or anything like that.
The being the first girl in school to have to wear a bra reminds me of an ex-girlfriend of mine. We were talking about nicknames. Like, what was your nickname growing up? And she goes, well, my screen name on AOL was Dio Babe. And I said, Dio Babe, what's the story there? And she goes, I was the first really sweaty kid on the soccer team, and the coach told my parents I needed to start wearing deodorant. So her teammates called her Dio Babe.
I was thinking Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah, that sounded cool.
You're talking
at first.
DEO.
Yep,
I've never heard
babe.
of deodorant called Dio.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I just had a thought on I still remember vividly the gal who sprung boobs before any other gal did at my grade school because we were so relentless. We were, I wouldn't say mean, but we certainly let her know that we noticed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Is third grade young, like controller sheezes?
I think so, yeah. I guess I can't really remember. Yeah.
I'm glad I don't know that for the record. But yeah, it just seems young to me. But
I remember her very vividly. She kissed me.
Oh.
And then she kissed me. Yeah, she ended up over in my at my folks' place one night with a bunch of her girlfriends, and we played some kind of a spin the bottle type game, and she kissed me. And so I had to go back. I got to go back to grade school and say, hey, you know the gal with the cannons? And my bros were like, well, yeah, of course we know the gal with the cannon. And I said, she kissed me. It was all a game. It didn't mean anything, but I was going to brag about it anyway.
Duh.
Yeah.
QA Jesus said, I did 12 years of school, never missed a day. Call my mom for proof. Oh, I believed you.
That's crazy.
What's her number? We'll get her on the phone.
Why is he so defensive
Yeah, you don't. I believed you. I took you at your word.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to call your mom.
Do people not often believe you? What did he say, 12?
12 years of school, never missed a day.
Well, you can say the same thing.
Yeah, I missed part of a day, one because I ripped my tongue off on a pole.
Duh.
But that's it.
Does that haunt you that you missed part of a day?
It wasn't like I wanted to go to school. I mean, that was just my parents were going to make me go no matter what.
I love this one. Then we got to take a break. We can come back to this. We can close out our show, continuing to talk about flexes from our childhood. I love this one. Dude says, I was banned from playing dodgeball at my grade school because I kept aiming exclusively for kids' glasses.
Bogus.
When they have to make a new rule for you, and no aiming at glasses rule, that's impressive.
Come on. I still remember, when we would play floor hockey or terrible, awful, stupid kickball. Or what were we just talking about?
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball. It was always the best when you could knock a kid's glasses off of his face.
I remember that being pretty great.
Oh, that's outstanding. Oh, before we take a break, let's knock this Pantera deal out of the way before somebody gets their ass kicked. Pantera, those dirty bastards are headed out on tour, and there will be no survivors. Pantera going out with Amon Amarth. They're calling it the heaviest tour of the summer, and we want to send you to see them. And you can pretty much pick where you want to go. East Coast, West Coast, somewhere's in between. You can pick the show, plus a trip for two, flight, hotel, premium tickets to see Pantera live. You'll score the Pantera Ultimate Meet and Greet experience. Gifts will be yours. A VIP black carpet treatment type of a scene, and you'll meet the band. The text number is 95819. 95819, and the word you need to text right now is hostile. HOSTILE. Send it to 95819 for your chance to win. Good luck.
Half-assed morning show, 93X.
I gotta tell you, these childhood flexes that have been texted in by our listening audience are friggin' terrific.
Very funny stuff.
Yep.
I'm so glad we got a chance to talk about this before we wrap up our day. Childhood flexes.
I mean, I am quite proud of the eating one, and we've mentioned this before, where I had 13 Perkins Mammoth muffins and then half a gallon of frozen yogurt. Now, I was miserable for about 4 days after that, but it's an accomplishment I don't think I could ever reach again.
You're a big eater.
I am. Or I was.
You could toss the salad of a dead rhino.
Oh, I would love to.
Unbelievable.
There was not a salad that went untossed around me.
Chaos Vortex Jesus. bench pressed 65 pounds when he was 8.
Dude, that's impressive.
Yeah, wow.
Skinny Fixer Jesus said that he's always had a six-pack, never worked out a day in his life.
Oh, I know a couple guys like that. It's pretty frustrating.
It's kind of not fair.
Well, then there are also the guys that can eat and drink the most, too. And then they still just have perfect abs.
Ridiculous.
Hang on a second. You guys are actually claiming that human being exists?
Yeah.
They eat and drink whatever they want to, and they have perfect abs?
They still have the metabolism of a teenager.
Yep, their metabolism never quits.
I'll believe it when I see it. Believe it when I see it. One of our listeners lost their V card when they were 11.
Jeez. Almost seems like a crime.
Yeah, I don't know if I should feel sad for you or not.
Sad Packer fan Jesus said, learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Didn't pick one up for 25 years. It all came back to him.
Really?
I've never been able to.
No.
Me either.
Just the stickers.
I made my second grade teacher pass out when I cut my thumb open with the scissors.
I made 2 managers pass out when I cut my finger open. Barsaw Jesus, from 8 to 12 years old, he won the best design for the Pinewood Derby at his church. Back-to-back 5 years running.
F you, man.
That's
Nice.
awesome. I remember making a couple of those, and I sucked it.
I never had a chance.
I remember I went into it so cocky, too, thinking, look at this thing. It's got that, it's got a little angle to it. It's got some weights in the front. This thing, and I just got cooked.
I never even had a chance to.
Mine didn't even look good.
No, when we tried to build those little cars, mine just looked, you could tell it had absolutely no chance. Here's a listener who says, I met Jesse Ventura in kindergarten and I was awarded one of the top. I was given a piece of paper that stated I was one of the top 10 smartest kindergartners.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the body came in and here you go. You must be a little bright little character. 1987 Lester Prairie Elementary Spelling Bee runner-up.
Bruh.
And he lost to a girl.
Oh, no.
Girls in my school were always the better students. Always.
Oh, hell yes.
My flex is I've been the only one in Monticello 5th grade history to pee on the ceiling, resulting in the entire 5th grade boys to have to be half-in-school suspension. Still hold that record, he says.
Not me, but a buddy of mine made it all the way to the national free throw contest. Started out in Dakota County, then went to the state, and then the region. He made it that far. And the thing that made it so funny is he could shoot those free throws, but if you gave him $100,000 to make a layup, he'd hit the rim every time. He was horrible at basketball, but was just a savant at free throws. It was incredible.
We're talking about childhood flexes here before we leave. One of our listeners was just lights out with one of those jump ropes.
That's impressive.
He could do this way, that way. It sounds like he could run up and down the baselines in baseball while jumping rope.
Oh, that's impressive.
Are you following what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
South Haven Lake living Jesus said that he won the paper airplane contest in elementary school, not just in one category, but both. Landed his inside a convertible that was the target at the bottom of the hill, and won best decorated with some cool camo patterns he did. Hey, if you can attach a picture, if you still have that, that'd be great to see.
Some people are just so good with their hands.
I know. I wish I could do that.
How about this? I was the first one in my class, says a listener, to learn how to make that perfect water drop sound with my cheek.
Oh, dude, my fiance can do that, and it's so cool.
Yeah, I know some people that could do that.
Oh, I saw you reaching for your face.
Oh,
I thought you were
I got an itch.
I've tried to get him to teach me how to do it, but it doesn't make sense. I think you have to be one of those people that can do like those cool little tricks with your tongue. You can oh, dude, you're really close.
I'm getting there.
It's pretty close.
Hang on, let me try.
I love it.
Hey, that's not bad.
That was a good one.
I've never really tried to do that before in my entire life.
I'm so jealous.
You want to hear it again?
Yeah.
Anyway, this kid
put a bucket underneath the ceiling.
This kid says he was the first one in his class to learn how to do the water drop sound with his finger in his cheek. He sat next to the sink in class and drove his teacher completely insane.
Ramtucky Jesus went to state in spelling in 6th grade. I bet you're spelling some decent words in 6th grade, ones that would confuse all of us here.
17. You never had what?
We never had spelling bees when I was in school.
Well, if we did, no one. My telephone never rang.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem.
17 rounds of Simon Says before he made a mistake, this listener.
That's intense.
That's some big playground bragging rights right there.
My weird childhood flex, says this listener, is I hit a kid so hard in high school football that I cracked my helmet, broke my face mask, and sent myself to the hospital in a helicopter.
Oh,
wow.
Gee. This person was the first and only kid to pee on the principal's car door handle. That's impressive.
That's how you do it. I was, and I still am, friends with the kid who could kick the kickball the farthest in 5th grade.
That was your friend? Ranger Gear Grinder Jesus ate 3-foot-long sandwiches from Subway when he was 13.
What?
Dude, that's crazy.
That's a lot of bread.
I can't even get through one now.
One of our listeners won a Pogs tournament in 1999 at a place called Knott's Berry Farm in California.
Oh, Pogs were huge.
I don't know anything about
I've
Pogs.
heard the name, but what is that?
They were just these little kind of cardboard discs, and you'd stack them up, and then you'd take a slammer and try to get them to flip over.
Oh, yeah, I know what those are.
They were very collectible when I was in elementary school, and because you get like ones with like Timberwolves logo on it, and that was like the cool Pogs.
One of our listeners could hop up and down on a pogo stick for so long you'd swear it was Josh's mother on a Saturday night.
We're almost out of here.
I could hold my breath underwater for 70 yards.
Dubbed Famous Mises said in middle school he could figure out how to blow bubbles with his own saliva. Just spit bubbles.
Oh, sure, that's gross. Finally, and thank you so much, everyone, for texting in. I love the sounds of this one. We got to get going, but thank you so much for texting on the topic of childhood flexes. One of our listeners playing stickball, he says, I could get the dong out like I was Barry Bonds. I had the same thing. I was a real power threat playing stickball growing up, and I was also a left-handed batter. And I would admire my shots like Barry Bonds did back in the day. I would like you and I, if we had a time machine, we'd go back in time and have a stickball home run hitting contest. Cubby, I'd hit some bombs.
I'd like to see that.
Oh, man.
Happy 16th to Mr. Carter James from Dad, neck like a stack of dimes, arms like buggy whips Jesus, who very aggressively more than suggested you hurry up and get your driver's license. Seems like they're tired of driving you around. Have a great Taco Tuesday.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
You gotta be kidding me. Who greenlit this garbage?
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Well, there's my beautiful podcast, people. Everybody good? All right, great to hear. Thanks, as always, for listening to the podcast. And, of course, thanks to our friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for making it all possible. Can we believe it's April already? And like the old saying goes, April showers brings gross, disgusting humidity and heat in May. Beat the heat and the summer rush. Have Standard Heating and Air Conditioning out to work on that AC soon. April is the best month to get your air conditioning wrenched on before the huge summer rush starts. So get on that today. Go to standardheating.com and schedule that AC tune-up. Thanks for listening. We love you podcasters. Enjoy the show.